2023. BB and CC Winans, oh happy day when Jesus washed my sins away. He taught me how to watch and pray, or to fight and pray, and live rejoicing every day. starting off with Business Sense brought to you by ADB. We'll get into the newspaper review right after that. Business news and sports all coming your way. If you have an existing personal loan with ADB, you can serve, and you've serviced it for up to a year, you can request for a special personal loan top-up with better rates with an extended repayment period. Indeed, a better deal. Call 059-384-4898. Let's talk about ADB special personal loan top-up. This one, I want to talk about a potent combination for personal development. A potent combination to do well wherever you are as a person. There are usually 2 A's required, not to get into secondary school, but to progress in life. The A of ability and the A of attitude. Now, ability is what you can do, and attitude is what you will do or what you want to do. Now, some people have a lot of ability. That means that they can accomplish a lot, but they have a bad attitude. So ability without attitude is limiting. And there are also people who have great attitude. They're willing to learn, but they haven't done anything. They haven't developed themselves. They don't have the skills. So these people are promising. Now, so what you really want is a good combination of ability and attitude. So both the willingness and the ability too. But if you be without one, be without the ability. Because it's better to be promising than to be limiting. So if you want to progress in that area, in your field, in your career, it's a 2-part equation. The ability equation and the attitude equation. When it comes to recruitment, great companies recruit for attitude and train for ability. They recruit for attitude and train for skill. Because it's much easier to train a person in ability than it is to train in attitude. Because attitude is the extra plus in life. Business Sense brought to you by ADB. Truly a Greek and more. And even though it's a happy day, there aren't too many happy headlines, but who knows? We're going to bring in Richard Sky and Godfred to jump into the newspaper headlines shortly. Brought to you by Total Energies, offering you the specially formulated quartz engine oil with ART. A breakthrough innovation ensures optimal performance for engine, improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%, even under extreme temperatures and pressure. Choose Quad from Total Energies. Choose the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. So the big question, will the NDC's primaries for presidential candidate and parliamentary candidates, will the primaries come on Saturday? We're not really sure. The Electoral Commission says, well, until the legal dimensions, the court matter is dealt with, we ain't touching this election. Meanwhile, the party says they're hopeful they can resolve the issues before Saturday. So they have today, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday. They're hoping the case can be heard tomorrow. So lots to watch out for on the show this morning. All right, so we'll start with what the papers are saying. Let me say good morning to Richard Sky.
Good morning,
and
my brother. How's it going?
I'm very well, thank you. And to Godfred Akotobo.
Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Somebody's in a happy mood.
Well,
no, but that's good. I like it.
Yes, we must come to the office with joy.
You must come to the party with the right spirit.
Because we go down in the morning, people's day go down for them. You know?
Yeah,
we lift people up, you know?
Yes.
If you know we lift you up in the morning, please send me a message this morning so that we'll read it later. Just send me a message and say, Charlie, we lift your spirit up in the morning.
It. Yeah. But I want you to give them a laughter. Yeah. Always on cue. Always on cue.
But NDTC, you say how far?
So there's so many headlines. We'll give you the details.
In fact, the Chronicle has summoned Pontius Pilate and decided to use Pontius in their story this morning.
Pontius Pilate.
Yeah, is it like the Pontius Pilate, the biblical Pontius Pilate?
Yeah.
The Electoral Commission has washed his hands.
Oh my God.
But Aloski, I saw an interesting question on Twitter this morning. I went to ask.
Which is what?
It was asked by Kobe. You know our own Kobina.
Kobe. Which one?
There's only one Kobina that you know on Twitter. that you also know personally. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Has it registered?
Yes, what is he saying?
He's asking in Ghana, what is a residential area? If you live in a residential area, what does it mean?
That's no, it's an area of residence.
What does it mean?
Residential, you live in an estate, you live around Rage, but right now they have spotted a place.
So is it a residential area?
I think you see, what you need to do is to try and go into the mind of the questioner. I think what he's trying to ask is, in some countries, if, for example, in some cities, if you say you're in the suburbs, these are places where only houses are. If you don't have a car, you can't even go. In fact, public transport doesn't even go there.
Yes.
So you're in a place where you know that it's only people's residences. Schools, you have to drive to the school. You have to drive to the mall. So this is only houses. So if you ask for Ghana, is he asking from that perspective? Because in Ghana, everything is mixed.
No, you contextualize.
Ghana is mixed use. Everything is mixed use.
So think about it.
So for example, East Legon. East Legon is now a mixed-use facility.
Yeah, they have done a lot of gentrification.
So can you name a typical residential area? Everywhere there are people selling bread.
Do you live in a residential area?
He doesn't.
Yes.
Oh, please.
GHS Estate is a residential area.
But the place, the kind of things they sell around your area, the Johnson, the DVLA.
I certainly do not live in a residential area surrounded by two brothels.
It's a residential area. But access to the place, yes, you drive
No,
past.
you live in a residential house, but you live in
Stop claiming residential area. Stop.
You know what we should do? Let's call a DC and ask him to name a residential area in his district. You'll be shocked.
The beautiful one at East Legon, what's the name?
Trazaco.
Trazaco. It's a residential area.
Have you seen?
No, yeah, it's possible. Trazaco is possibly.
Where former President Mahama lives, the one at Chad. It's a residential area.
Trazaco is next door to a slum.
You know what? Let's get the headlines. I don't know what you're trying to say here.
Front page of the Daily Graphic. Graphic Lands Ministry dialogue today. Law enforcement tops agenda. The president will be speaking at this event today. The AG has been very busy trying to make changes. And now he has launched a public defenders division of legal aid.
Powerful.
Sky can tell us what that means.
Yep.
EC stays off NDC elections. 14 institutions fined 1 million Ghana cedis for non-compliance with RTI law.
Let me take you to the Chronicle. NDC is tearing apart as EC runs away from Saturday's Congress. The details coming up in a jiffy. Also, National Vaccine Secretariat ready. Wow, it's a beautiful edifice that's been erected, and the front view is here on the front page of the Chronicle. Also, implementation of RTI law. Hefra Keta Assembly getting stubborn.
Front page of the Anchor newspaper this morning. Juju scare hits NDC office. But you should see this picture. Somebody has going to put a red calabash with red calico and eggs and things in front of some NDC office somewhere. The weekend primaries. I mean, we are covering it live, eh?
Yeah, if it happens.
But would it happen?
Okay. If it happens,
if it does happen, all right.
We'll be there.
Education minister sits on bribery, sexual harassment petition since 2021. Oda police under pressure to free chief Yemeni Galamsey suspects.
Let me take you to the Daybreak newspaper. We're told that the EC has run away from the NDC's elections. Also, legal counsel stops LLB at 3 schools. And Ghana flares $169 million worth of natural gas. This is not good news. We are burning the gas. And the Garden City to garbage dump, the sad decline of Kumasi. We're told Kumasi is just challenged.
Which paper is that?
This is the Daybreak news.
From Garden City to garbage dump.
That's right.
That's extreme.
Bola is everywhere.
Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, here in Accra too, the situation is terrible.
Okay. And then let me take you to the front page of the Daily Guide, where Atu Asian runs from jail, pays 4 million Ghana cedis. I'll give you details of that later.
But the other headlines?
Yes, there's headlines we've discussed them.
They deserve to be heard.
EC,
you need to know what the headlines.
The EC case is the EC pulling out of the NDC post makes it to the front page of the paper.
Okay.
Let me take you to the Ghanaian Times. Production of fake electrical cables. 7 Chinese Nigerian busted as GSA shuts down Furnace Metal Technology Company. Also, EC suspends supervision of NDC election over Dr. Dufour's case. Defend unprivileged members of society, not state employers. The Attorney General is charging Legal Aid Commission, the Defenders Division, and access to information request increase, according to the Minister for the information sector.
Finally, from me, Bernard, the business analyst says that Treasury bill rates to remain high despite easing inflation. Reduce Ghana's reliance on external vaccines, Akufo-Addo to National Vaccine Board, and adopt technology in the discharge of your duties. This is the health minister speaking to pharmacists.
The new crusading guide, NDC Congress Buhaha, EC pulls out. Reduce Ghana's reliance on external vaccines, Akufo-Addo to National Vaccine Board. And Achime Buakwa chief clashes with DCE over customary rights. And finally, the business finder says this morning, SNIT to enroll 750 self-employed people in the country for regular income during old age until death. Also, we're told inflation dropped further to 41.2%, and Ghanaian businesses to showcase products in Kenya from May 23 to May 27 this year.
All right, a few more headlines. CitiNewsroom.com is where I start from. Primaries consider Dufour's concerns MPP to NDC. Also, gas supply challenges from Nigeria to blame for recent outages. This is Gridco.
And we are burning $169 million worth of
We need to read those stories together. Meanwhile, postpone primaries if you can't resolve discrepancies. Kojo Bonsu's team to NDC. Meanwhile, the NDC said they are still confident they will hold their primaries on Saturday. And then Ghana Water says we won't restore water to Guinness Ghana without a payment plan. So utilities are not joking with their water. We are told that the Wager Dam spillage, 7 school kids drowned. And then, this is so sad. And then JUSAC accuses government of bad faith over new salary concerns. Those are all City Newsroom stories. On my journal online, Amaliba says court agrees to hear injunction case on Friday instead of Monday. And then court finds attackers of Dabon FM presenter 3.6 thousand cedis. Kufuor gave his legs for this country, according to the Tumfuor. And we are also told that I feel used after 38 years of service. Retired soldier cries out for his coupon payment. This is under DDEP discussion. CityBusinessNews.com. GSA shuts down Furnace Metal for operating without certification. And inflation falls for fourth consecutive time or fourth consecutive month. Is now 42.1%, although other rates are not following. Let me take you to the BBC Africa. Tinubu jets off to Europe to fine-tune transition. Now, he's a big man. Yeah, he's gone to Europe twice since he was elected. He hasn't been sworn in yet.
Peace of mind
to go and think. Yeah. But you can't think in Nigeria.
No.
But you can run it.
Oh, Lord. A lot of stories about Russia, Ukraine in the Reuters News. Associated Press is talking about CNN, Trump town hall,
all kinds of things.
So let's start with the NDC,
yes,
and then we'll jump into the power situation.
Okay, the lead story on the front page of the Chronicle talks about the NDC. Details on page 3, and the details are provided to us by Maxwell Ofori. NDC is tearing apart. The story says, like Pontius Pilate, the Electoral Commission says it has washed its hands of this Saturday's presidential primaries of the National Democratic Congress. Now, the EC, which was dragged to the Supreme Court by the NDC over alleged irregularities, pulled out of the party's internal primaries following the suit filed by Dr. Bernard Avle seeking to restrain the NDC and the EC from holding the May 13 polls, led by its chairperson, who was at the center of the 2021 presidential petition by the NDC, Jean Adukwe Mensah. The EC met with the leadership of the NDC and agents of the aspirants over the decision it had taken. Now, Madame Jean Mensah has since told the Johnson Asiedu Nketia chaired NDC to settle the legal differences before the commission can supervise the primaries. Now, the EC chair explained that the commission did not want to incur the wrath of the court by disrespecting its authority, considering that the EC had been duly served with the writ. And there's a direct quote here that says, yesterday, we were served with an application for interlocutory injunction seeking to restrain the commission from supervising the conduct of the presidential and parliamentary primaries.
Now, Fifi Kwete has signed a statement. We got a statement very late last night, which is saying that they are confident the May 13th presidential and parliamentary primaries will be held as scheduled. Let me just read. It's just 4 paragraphs. The NDC further to a court action on the part of one of the presidential aspirants wishes to assure presidential parliamentary aspirants as well as member supporters and sympathizers that the party is taking all legitimate and legal steps to pave way for the presidential and parliamentary primaries on Saturday, May 13, 2023. We want to urge members and the people of Ghana to remain calm as the party, through its legal team, works to resolve the temporary challenge. It will be recalled that Dr. Dufour, one of the 3 presidential aspirants, on Tuesday filed a suit asking the party against the party seeking to injunct the primaries, while alleging calm among the rank and file, which to assure the party that as of April 2023, the party had made available the full delegate list to all presidential candidates in line with our commitment stated in our guidelines, that the primary document would be furnished to all presidential candidates. The party is therefore confident that this temporary challenge will be quickly overcome to pave way for the holding of the primaries on schedule. It is our expectation that we shall put the larger interest of the party or a great party ahead of all considerations, knowing that the good people of Ghana are eagerly looking up to our party come December 7, 2024 to rescue the nation. So he doesn't make a reference to the Friday court case, but the what we have been told.
In there.
Yes, so Abraham Amaliba has been speaking. He's the head of NDC's legal team, and he's saying that the court will hear the injunction case brought against the party tomorrow, Friday, the 15th. Sorry, tomorrow, Friday, the 12th, instead of Monday, May the 15th.
They want to speed up.
Yes, the new date is crucial for the party because its planned primaries is scheduled for Saturday, May the 13th. Speaking on Joy FM's Top Story on Wednesday, Mr. Amaliba said the party had applied for an abridgment of time, which is shortening the duration after the flag bearer hopeful filed the suit. We'll discuss this later in the show. EC, we've also been told, have said that they are washing their hands. I wanted you to give me the second story on power, where on citynewsroom.com, Jifa Beho Bampo is saying that gas supply challenges from Nigeria are to blame for recent outages. I don't know if you've noticed that the power has been quite intermittent these days now. Management of the Ghana Grid Company has attributed recent outages across the country to greater challenges encountered with gas supply from Nigeria. This, the company says, has limited its operational capacity. Now, parts of the country have been experiencing erratic power supply, with recent ones recorded this week. In an interview with City News, the corporate communications manager of Gridco, Jifa Bampo, assured of efforts to resolve the challenge. Here's a quote. She first apologized to Ghanaians over the challenges associated with power supply, and she says, we had a gas supply challenge from Nigeria. That has been the fundamental reason, and it has led to a multiplier effect, meaning our generating plants which use gas cannot operate fully. Now, while that is going on,
the Daybreak has a story on page 3, and it says that a total of 25.3 billion cubic feet of natural gas worth about $169 million was lost in the upstream petroleum sector through flaring. Now, the 2022 annual Public Interest Accountability Committee report on management and use of petroleum revenue has revealed. Now, the volume of gas flared in 2022 increased by 19.3% compared to a volume of 21.2 cubic feet of gas recorded in 2021. Now, this constituted about 10% of the total 253.56 cubic feet of gas of both associated gas and non-associated gas produced from the 3 oil fields of Jubilee, Sankofa, Jenyami, and Chunibua, and the rest. But Bernard, I don't know what can we explain really why we should keep flaring this?
Well,
this
you know, to be fair,
commodity?
they've done a gas reversal so that there's also a pipeline that can transmit gas from the west to the east. So some of the gas is supposed to be moved to the power enclave to generate power.
Yeah,
so
but we have to be...
no, hold on. So I'm saying that we don't know whether it's not all of the gas that is flared.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So we don't know the capacity of the transmission.
Brother, I don't care whether we are using some or not. The point I'm making is that it cannot make sense that we are looking for money. We have energy inefficiency in the system. We have major shortfalls in the system. And $169 million worth of gas is being burnt just like that, destroying the ozone layer while we are suffering to get electricity and all kinds of things.
It's a very important question. So what we can do is get the full report. Some of the gas was re-injected. Some of it were supposed to be used in power generation. We don't know if we have enough generation capacity in the west to use all the gas. So when we get all those details, then we can make the conclusion. Let's come to the Daily Graphic.
For you on the back page of the Daily Graphic, the Ghana Standards Authority yesterday closed down an electrical cable manufacturing company at Chopoli in the Ningo Pram district for producing without certification. Also, the company, Furnace Metal Technology Company Limited, was found to be labeling its illegally finished products as manufactured in Turkey, China, and Nigeria before selling them to the public. Also, the factory was not in production as their power had been cut off by the Electricity Company of Ghana. And the Daily Graphic learned the production only took place in the evenings with power from a generator. And I'll take you to another page. Hold on.
Still in the graphic?
Still in the graphic, yes, because they have an update on the Surfline
that story
situation for you that I want to. I'll find that for you.
All right, I wanted to give you an.
Yes, I found it.
Okay,
I found it. Then I'll give you the inflation story
Okay.
as well. So if you go to page 29 of the daily graphic, Surfline, which prides itself as Ghana's first 4G LTE company that offers fast and reliable internet service, has been hit by serious financial difficulties, leaving customers in limbo. Consequently, the company has shut down its data center. According on the company's homepage on its website, has left a notice which reads: Surfline has in the past few days experienced a total network downtime, resulting in a service interruption for some time.
So they've explained what is. Has the NCA commented on this?
Not
Because you remember the last time we did this show, there was a discussion about the NCA saying that they were planning to make a definite statement about the status of Surfline.
Yes, in fact, customers are blaming the NCA for this because
Yeah,
the NCA is not
they've been
speaking
quiet.
on this matter.
So,
Okay.
so Kwame Jan and the other people there, please let us know your views on the Surfline situation.
Now, whilst that is happening, lending rates also remain high. On page 3 of the business analyst, lending rates are expected to remain high for the next 3 months, despite a fall in inflation. Inflation fell to 41% in April 2023, according to data from the Ghana Statistical Service. However, the level of inflation remains high, a situation that will compel the Bank of Ghana to keep the policy rate unchanged at 29%.
You know, this is the 4th consecutive month that inflation has fallen. I mean, it was in the mid-50s in December. It fell to the lower 50s to the late 40s, now in the lower 40s. So you expect other indicators. But if you read the Daybreak or the analyst, we are told that treasury bill rates are remaining high because when the inflation rates are coming down, the government is busily buying treasury bills, and also lending rates are sticky upwards. So we need to see some movement of all rates down to free up space for the private sector to get access to money.
Okay, Bernard, let me take you to the business final and let's remain in the space of business and investment. Isaac Edu has a story that says Ghanaian businesses to showcase products in Kenya, May 23 to 27, thanks to MOTI, which is the Ministry of Trade and Industry, GEPA, AFTA Coordination Office, and others. Now, the story says that the first cohort of 50 out of 100 wholly owned Ghanaian businesses operating under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA, are set for a trade expedition to Kenya between May 23 and 27, 2023 to showcase their products and services to potential customers and partners in the East African country. Now, the 50 companies are into cosmetics, cocoa products, textiles and garments, agro-processing, alcoholic beverages, ceramics, aluminium products, leather products, crafts, electrical products, building and real estate, financial services, and information and communication technology. Now, the business delegation will be led by the new Minister of Trade and Industry, the Honorable Kwabena Tahir Hammond. And if you go to page
Still
9
on the
Finder. Of the same paper, GIPC secures second place for best investment project in West and Central Africa. And quickly, the story says that the Ghana Investment Promotion Center has received recognition for its outstanding efforts in promoting investment opportunities and driving economic growth in Ghana. Now, at the annual investment meeting held in Abu Dhabi, GIPC secured second place for the best investment project in West and Central Africa, showcasing the center's commitment in.
Now, let's do 3 quick labor stories. JUSAG accuses government of bad faith over new salary concerns. The Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana has expressed disappointment after a meeting with the NLC to discuss its request for government to approve new salaries for its members. JUSAG had been awaiting approval for over 2 years, and the absence of key stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance, the Labour Ministry Office of the President at the meeting, exacerbated the situation. So the Labour Commission's meeting did not have proper representation from the government side. So JUSAG is not happy. Second meeting, NLC meeting with UCC senior staff ends inconclusively. Again, a meeting between the National Labour Commission and the local chapter of University of Cape Coast Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana ended inconclusively. The association is protesting the delay by management of the University of Cape Coast at work on the negotiated allowances, conditions of service, and promotion of members. It embarked on a strike April 13, subsequently called it off a week after following its engagement with the commission. Now, Chairman of the association, Sandy Sinatra, said the NLC has given the association up to June 21 to reconvene after it had further engagement with UCC's management. Third labor story, Tamale Technical University teachers withdraw service of allowance. So these things tend to happen seasonally, and they are happening at the same time. Members of the TTU chapter, Tamale Technical University chapter of the TUTAG have withdrawn all services effective Wednesday, May 10, over non-payment of some allowances due them and the use of unapproved formula in paying end-of-service benefits of staff. The affected services include conducting end-of-semester exams, marking of scripts, and other related academic work. According to members of TUTAG, management of the university has failed to implement the approved formula in payment of end-of-service benefits, which is stated in the conditions of service. So, UCC, Tamale Technical, and then Judicial Service, all having challenges over payments and salary conditions.
Two quick stories for you. Atuesian is on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Story says he's running from jail and has paid 4 million Ghana cedis. The embattled founder and former chief executive of defunct Capital Bank, William Atuesian, has made a last-minute attempt to avoid being sent to prison by paying 4 million Ghana cedis out of the 20 million he should have paid by April 28, 2023. He has also filed an application challenging a motion filed by the Attorney General asking an Accra High Court to send him to jail for failing to pay the 20 million Ghana cedis as part of an agreement which kept him from going to jail after pleading guilty to stealing from the defunct bank. Mr. Asian in his application is practically begging the court not to impose a custodial sentence on him as his inability to pay the 20 million Ghana cedis was not deliberate but caused primarily by the economic hardships in the country.
Okay, so let's stay with the courts. Page 3 of the Daily, the Ghanaian Times says Dagbon FM journalist attackers fined 3,600 Ghana cedis. Quickly, the district court in Tamale has imposed 3,000 Ghana cedis fine on former National Democratic Congress Northern Regional Communications Officer Hadi Pakza and Mumuni Osman for assaulting a radio presenter of Dagbon Radio in Tamale. Now, the two, who on Monday, May 8, were arrested and kept in police custody, appeared before the court presided over by Amadu Isifu. Now, the accused, who were charged on 4 counts, pleaded guilty to all the charges.
Let me give you 2 international stories. In Sudan, UN to hold a special emergency session on Sudan. The Human Rights Council of the UN will hold an emergency session in Geneva today to discuss the ongoing conflicts in Sudan. There are reports of widespread human rights violations, including attacks on civilians, sexual violence, and the looting of hospitals. Now, this morning, I had an interview with the Chargé d'Affaires of the Sudan Embassy in Ghana. I'm going to play an excerpt of that on the show. The situation in Khartoum is very serious. He says hospitals are being attacked and sick people cannot be treated. Then in Nigeria, there are a couple of stories of interest. Tinubu is off to Europe to fine-tune the transition plan. Nigerian President-elect Bola Tinubu has departed from Nigeria for Europe in what his aide described as a working visit and part of final preparations for his assumption of office on 29 May.
Instead of coming to
This is the second time
nephew.
This is the second time Mr. Tinubu will be traveling out of the country since he was declared president-elect in March. He returned to Nigeria on April 24 after a 4-week vacation in France. So he's sampling Europe. In a statement on Wednesday, spokesperson Tunde Rahman said Mr. Tinubu will use the opportunity of the trip to fine-tune the transition plans and programs and his policy options with some of these key aides without the unnecessary pressure and distraction.
Yeah, he should have come to Ghana.
I'm trying to put together a list that I'll send to you. The travel miles of
Nigerian president
of presidents in sub-Saharan in West Africa, as compared to the travel miles of presidents in Southern Africa and in North Africa.
Wow.
And then we'll compare that to travel miles of presidents of the US and leaders in some places. I'll share it.
If there's one thing we can be sure of, they'll get a lot of air miles from their airlines.
Meanwhile, they are not doing anything.
Has been killed as he lives in the residential area.
And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you, can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chema. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Meet Mr. Answer, He prefers to receive money from his friends and loved ones through the Agricultural Development Bank's remittance services, and his reason is simple.
Oh, for me, my brother lives overseas and he often sends me money. I can access it at any ADB branch nationwide, and what he sends is exactly what I receive. No wahala.
Is that why you prefer ADB's remittance services?
Of course. Well, whether it is Western Union, MoneyGram, ZPay Instant Money, Unity Link, Real Money Transfer, or Transfast, receiving my money through ADB's remittance services is guaranteed. And with some of these services, you can receive the money directly into your ADB account. Do you know what the best part is?
Share with us.
You see, during this Ramadan, Easter and Eid al-Fitr, I'll be receiving money transfers. But I'm not worried because I can receive it at any ADB branch or selected branches on Saturdays and holidays. So my brother, you see, if you go somewhere else and you don't receive payment on time, all I can say is, woko hoko yeah.
Visit any of ADB's 87 networked branches nationwide, whether you are a customer or not, for the best in remittance services. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Business News brought to you by MTN and Goyle. Vivian Kaloko is here with the news. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Of course, we'll start with inflation because it continues to experience some downward path. The Bank of Ghana is calling on banks as this happens in the country to cut lending rates to the private sector to support growth of the sector. Inflation has dropped for the fourth consecutive time, falling to 41.2% for the month of April this year from the 45% recorded in March this year. Now, the second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, LC Adwawaje, made the call at the launch of the ABSA SME loan at 10 by ABSA Bank Ghana Limited and the MasterCard Foundation.
As the macroeconomy improves, which is happening, is going to happen, and as inflation drops, and as interest rates drop, then who knows? We may be talking about ABSA SME loans at 5. Inflation for April has dropped, right? It's now 41.2%. This is down from 45% in March, down from 52.8 in February, and then 53.6 in January. So consistent downward spiral. So we peaked. We said this at the APC press conference a couple of months ago that we had peaked, and as you see, inflation is consistently on a downward spiral. And so this is really great, and we hope to see interest rates coming down. We hope to see all banks also then take a cue and drop their lending rates going forward.
That was the second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, LC Adwawaje. Meanwhile, the government has indicated the drop in the country's inflationary levels is a good indication that the economy is bouncing back from the economic crunch. Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah says he is hopeful that the country's liquidity challenges will be solved after the country receives the $3 billion economic bailout from the International Monetary Fund.
The economy is, I think, gradually recovering from some of the major challenges we've had. I'm sure you saw the latest inflation numbers. It was still very high. We're beginning to see a certain dip. We would like to believe that we've gone past the peak. The composite index of economic activity from the Bank of Ghana suggests that there's an uptick in economic activity gradually going up. We still have major challenges with liquidity, and we're still in the process of concluding our IMF transaction. So we've seen very terrible days, but I think if you look at the dashboard, gradually it appears we're beginning to turn the curve. If you go back to the statement issued under my hand on the 1st of July 2022, I think we mentioned that the government of Ghana has an enhanced domestic program which had been designed to help us recover from the major shocks that we were suffering, and that to make that program effectual, we will need, well, we didn't talk about all the support mechanisms we need, but we mentioned that we will need at least some balance of payment support from the IMF. And that is what we have been working on, and all indications suggest to us that we should be bringing that to a closure pretty soon.
Minister of Information, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. Away from that, the General Agricultural Workers Union, GAWO, is calling on Ghanaian workers to join labor unions as that will help negotiate better salaries for them and curb the menace of low wages. Now, reports indicate that the majority of Ghanaian workers are woefully underpaid, with over 500,000 of workers earning less than 500 Ghana cedis. The situation of unemployment and low wages has led to many Ghanaians leaving the country in search of better opportunities. Now, Edward Kariwa believes this exploitation by employers will be a thing of the past as workers join unions who would push for better interest.
If there is no employment, it means that people who are engaged are ready to take something very low. They are not able to insist on having high salary because there are 1,001 people who are looking for that same job. Even government-owned institutions, if you look at people on the single spine pay, it's very low. How much more the private sector? In fact, it's a very bad situation within the private sector. The workers who are members of the TUC and then they are having collective bargaining agreements, we consistently negotiate to improve upon their salaries. But there are also another category of workers who do not belong to the trade unions and they don't have any means of negotiating with their employer. And then those people are just giving anything the employer wishes to give them. So until workers come together and then they join trade unions so that we can collectively fight and improve upon the salaries of them, we will continue to have this situation.
Edward Kariwa is the General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union. Now, players within the financial space have pledged their continued support to small and medium enterprises to help spur economic growth. They maintain that the growth of the local economy is largely dependent on SMEs, thus much financial commitment needs to be made to the sector. Nana Yao Owusu Banahini is a country director for Ghana and West Africa at AZA Finance and has been speaking on the issue.
What has happened to us is we have to make these decisions very quickly. Definitely within our sector, with the banking and fintech sector, what we are trying to contribute to is that what other venues are we going to contribute to the real sector in terms of giving out loans and also creating the necessary financial digital space for real businesses to be able to access financial services like credit and loans. So we will do that to support the government, but hopefully we hope the IMF deal or whatever the government is doing to stabilize the economy will come to pass. Definitely, technology is going to help to allow financial services to reach the last mile. Currently, we are able to transfer funds to the rural areas. What we are looking forward is to also transfer services like credits and loans to people who desperately need it in terms of small SMEs who need the services. So technology is going to be the backbone with fintechs working with banks to provide the services to them.
Nana Yao Owusu Banahini is a country director for Ghana and West Africa at AZA Finance. Let's find out how the city is performing this morning. Let's go to the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade among themselves. The dollar is selling at 10 cedis 96 pesos, recording no price change. The British pound gained 1 peso, selling at 13 cedis 84 pesos. The euro gained 3 pesos, is selling at 12 cedis 3 pesos. Let me take you to forex bureaus across the capital. Now, the dollar may be sold to you at 11 cedis 95 pesos, while the British pound is selling at 14 cedis 90 pesos, and the euro is going for 13 cedis 10 pesos. Let's now join Mark Jordan Sikanate of Databank for the latest updates on the bonds market.
The secondary market in Government of Ghana bonds registered a total face value traded of 1 million Ghana cedis in the first two sessions of this week. The Databank bond index ended the week opening session at 94.25 points, with an average yield to maturity of 10.34%. This week, the Ghanaian Treasury seeks to raise 3.33 billion Ghana cedis to cover estimated maturities worth 2.31 billion Ghana cedis. The uptake will focus on the 91-day to the 364-day bills.
Mark Jordan Sikatnate of Databank. Well, that's it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, brought to you by MTN and Goil, and also powered by citybusinessnews.com. Log on to that website to get some more business news updates. The business news team returns at 1 o'clock with more stories on the business front. My name is Vivian Ka Eloko. Do have a good business day.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Well, it beats.
11 minutes past 7, the Citi Business News was brought to us by MTN. With MTN and M-Copper Device Finance, you can now buy a sleek, trendy smartphone and enjoy the luxury of paying an amazing daily, easy, weekly, or monthly installments. Walk to any of our service centers across Central, Achimota Mall, Dansoman, Medina, Tudu, or Circle. Choose your favorite from a wide range of mobile phones on offer. All phones come with 2 gig free data, so you can share your pics and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months after purchase. So go and share the exciting news with friends and family. And what do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you stop up anywhere? Don't do that. Let's introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be part. Gold Super XP on 95 and Diesel XP are the best quality fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. Our Super XP on 95 is high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel. And our Diesel XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with the quality for an energized driving experience. Goil Good Energy. Kickoff is coming up shortly. Nathan Kwa is already here. Brought to you by Lesheho. For over a decade, Lesheho Savings and Loans have been supporting businesses with attractive investment solutions, including our 91-day, 182-day, and 365-day products. Open a fixed deposit account with Lesheho. Call 0577 707 700. Lesheho Savings and Loans. Let's improve life. And with Shell Fuel Safe Triple Action Formula, your engine efficiency is better, deposit buildup is prevented, and your engine is protected from wear and corrosion. Switch to Shell Fuel Safe today because extra kilometers go a long way. It's a Thursday edition with Nathan Kwa. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. In the headlines, Team Ghana exits the 2023 World Boxing Championships in Azerbaijan. I'll be giving you details. Kotoko lifts lid on former coach Seydou Zerbo's exit from their club, and Inter Milan take control of the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. And we begin with some football, and the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harris-Inado, has stated that the Black Meteors team is actively getting ready for the Under-23 AFCON, which will be played in Morocco from June 24 to the 8th of July. Now, Ghana is aiming to get a top 3 finish at the tournament so they can qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games football competition. And Prosper Harris-Inado has been telling City Sport that the team's schedule leading up to the competition will be made public, and everyone will see how they are getting ready for that competition in Morocco.
The technical team is working. They are in constant contact with the players.
and they have their plan very soon. We would be coming out with their plans. The draw has been done, and we know our opponents. The path is set. We know what we need to do to get to Paris, and so we would be working very hard administratively with the technical team, the playing body, the management committee, to ensure that we qualify once again to the Olympics in terms of football. We are working with the GOC as well on this.
That was the GFA's General Secretary, Prosper Harris. And a bit of context for those who do not know, Ghana has not taken part in Olympic Games football since 2004, and they are hoping to get back there next year. Let's stay with some football, and Legon City's assistant head coach is Ahmed Tijani. He believes the presence of the Black Stars technical team at Premier League venues will influence players positively. According to him, players must keep working hard. They must be consistent if they want to make it to the next national team call-ups, which will be done ahead of games in June and September.
No, for me, I'm very, very happy to hear that this kind of coaches, blaster coaches, are going to the centers to watch the match, which is very positive for the players and our local league, you know. So it's going to have to motivate a lot of players. But for me to say I'm going to recommend any player to them, no, I can't mention 1-2 players. You know, we have a lot of talent, but they have to continue working hard so that the blaster coach will have confidence in them. It's all about working hard.
That was Legon City's assistant head coach speaking there in that interview. Ahmed Tijani, that is his name. Let's get to Asante Kotoko. Now, that club has experienced some drama this season, from on-field matters to off-field matters. And among those stories were the exit of Seydou Zerbo, their former head coach. Now, CEO of Asante Kotoko is Nanaya Wamponsa. He has disclosed that the club's management opposed the decision to fire Seydou Zerbo. Now, despite the initial satisfaction with Zerbo's performance, Kotoko was compelled to dismiss the coach due to fan pressure and threats from some board members following a surprise 2-0 home loss to Mediama Sporting Club.
We did not bow to just calls for him to go, no. I think that as management, we knew where the club was, we knew what he was capable of. But we picked up intel, strong intel. Some people had plotted or planned to go and attack him at the training grounds, similar to what happened with Matic and Hasselhoff. And we thought that such a thing happening would not be in the best interest of the club, especially with the image of the club. We engaged him. He also said he had some conversations with his embassy here, and they had reiterated same. So we felt that, no, if he's fallen out of love, we should just save ourselves that trouble. If you ask any management member, we were not happy with him going because we felt that we still had a chance in the league with him, okay? We felt that we still had a chance with him. There were a majority of supporters who wanted him. I remember after the match against Accra, Suffolk in Accra, I had to step in, or otherwise would have been attacked. But even some persons I know, but it's not necessary now.
So that was Asante Kotoko CEO Nanaya Wamponsa speaking there. Let's get to Europe, and it was a very, very interesting night in the UEFA Champions League. Let's just get how it broke down when the two Milanese clubs, Inter Milan and AC Milan, met at the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza, popularly called the San Siro, in the northern part of Italy.
Dzeko can be such a danger here, trying to get free. Goes towards him. What a danger he is. Edin Dzeko absolutely smashed it in on the volley. Inter get the edge early here. Barella, Di Marco, back to Martinez, who lets it run. And they're in again. And it's Mkhitaryan. More brilliant football by Inter.
So those are the high points from last night. Edin Dzeko and Henrik Mkhitaryan, former Premier League players, putting the dagger into the heart of AC Milan, as Inter won that game by 2-0. It was technically an away game for Inter Milan, and so they won away from home at the San Siro. The second leg will be played next week, but let's hear from one of the players who did very well from the game, Edin Dzeko. He was speaking to BT Sport last night.
Feels very good, especially because it's derby, and let's say on the paper we played away, so it's a great result for us.
And how about your goal? How satisfying was that? You've recently returned to goal-scoring ways with that brace at Verona. You got another one tonight in such a huge game. Talk to me about that goal.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get in this, let's say, difficult moments where the ball doesn't want to get in, but, patience and work always pays off. So I was calm, knowing that the goals will come like always, and today is a proof.
Inter Milan forward Edin Dzeko scoring there. He scored the first goal and Henry Mkhitaryan added the second. So Inter Milan taking a very healthy lead into next week's second leg, which will be played coincidentally at the same venue. This time they are the home team and AC Milan are the away team. All right, let's move on to some other European football news. And in the Europa League semi-final first leg, AS Roma, managed by Jose Mourinho, they are at home to Bayer Leverkusen, and Juventus will take on Sevilla in the first legs of the UEFA Europa League semi-final. In the Europa Conference League semi-final, Fiorentina will face Basel. West Ham are at home to AZ Alkmaar, and West Ham manager David Moyes claims that reaching a European final will be his greatest achievement ever in his time as a football manager.
I think to get to a European final, it could be, yeah. I've been really fortunate. I got to quarter-final of the Champions League with Man United, lost in penalty kicks in the quarter-final of the Europa League with Everton. Last season I was in a semi-final with West Ham, and this year we're in a semi-final again. So I want to try and take it that one step further. It would be easier to say it than what it is just now if I could get to a final. And I refer back to probably the serial winner and Jose Mourinho. The serial winner found winning this trophy so special for him, for his football club, and for me. Then I'm saying, well, if ever I needed somebody to show what it's like and how hard it is, it would be Jose, and he treated it as if it was so important. So there'll be no way I'm treating it any less than that.
West Ham manager David Moyes speaking. There's a great time for West Ham. UEFA Europa Conference League semi-final. And if they win over 2 legs, they get to make the final. We'll wait to see whether that will happen or not. Now, one player who has won a lot of these European finals is Sergio Busquets. He's announced that he will be leaving Barcelona at the end of the current season, and he's gotten a lot of praise from Barcelona president Juan Laporta. Now, Busquets is leaving after 18 years and 718 appearances to his name. He's won several league titles, several Copa del Rey titles, Spanish Super Cups, Champions League crowns, Club World Cup crowns, and Juan Laporta, he was speaking yesterday through an interpreter, just going through the high moments as he oversees the last few months or last few weeks of Sergio Busquets' time at FC Barcelona.
He's an exceptional player and an extraordinary person as well. He's one of the great Barca captains. And furthermore, his whole family brings the Barca spirit. From his dad, Carlos Busquets, who was a member of the Dream Team. Well, these are emotional moments because there was so much success during this path, thanks to his talent, thanks to Barca. And when he told me about this decision, I knew it was the end of an era. His pro career at Barca, we have this feeling that Sergio will continue at Barca. Maybe not as a footballer, but in other aspects, because Barca runs through his veins. He knows everything here so well. He's been a teacher of the game. It's clear because of the way he plays and his leadership, he's become an extension of that, a teacher. And I've said that this is just a part of his story.
That was Barcelona president Juan Laporta speaking there through an interpreter. Let's do some boxing now. And all 6 Ghanaian boxers who took part in the 2023 IBA Boxing Championships in Uzbekistan have been eliminated from the competition. The last man standing was Amadou Mohamed. He was defeated yesterday by Mahmoud Sabrikan of Kazakhstan, and all the other boxers, Alfred Kote, Theophilus Alute, Abdul Wahid Umar, Abraham Mensah, and Joseph Kome, were eliminated at various rounds in the competition, and so they could not get into the medal zone and pick up some prizes. So that's the start story of the Black Bombers, but they will use that to get ready for next year's Africa Games, which will be hosted in Ghana. Let's end with some basketball, and it was win or go home night in the NBA. but the Golden State Warriors decided that, you know what, they wanted to do it one more night, and so they beat the LA Lakers 121-106 in Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinal. Steph Curry starred for the Warriors. He had 27 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists there. To help him out was Andrew Wiggins. He had 25 points. Draymond Green had 20. On the side of the Lakers, it didn't really work out for them, but LeBron James had 25 points on the night as well. So they go into Game 6 in LA. Again, it's either win or go home. If the Warriors win, they tie the series on 3-3. If they lose, they exit the NBA playoffs, and the Lakers will move on to the Western Conference Finals. That's our kickoff for this morning, probably brought to us by Shell and Lechego. My name is Nathan Kwame. Many thanks for listening. There's more sports on citysportsonline.com. We have more sports news in our subsequent bulletins on TV and on radio. And later tonight, tuning at 10 p.m. for the City Sports Roundup. I'll be there to serve you all the latest from the world of sport. Do have a fantastic day. Stay safe, take care, and bye-bye.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go. We improve your life. Let's go. Let's go. Even when you're stuck with nothing, come to Let's-go. No matter your situation, come to Let's-go. Let's-go. We improve your life. Let's-go. 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 Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Let's-go. We improve your life.
Let's-go Savings and Loans. Let's improve life.
Extra, let me tell you all about it.
Hey, Dolomistic. You and this your extra thing. Abeg, tell me about it.
Abenquine, look, extra is what you and your car get when you switch to Shell Fuel Save. Extra protection, extra clean, and extra savings. You get it?
And no, I mean, tell me extra.
Shell Fuel Save is designed to improve engine efficiency instantly and with triple action formula that helps protect your engine from wear, corrosion, and deposit. So you get extra kilometers out of your drive.
Sir, and they're not extra, good for your engine. Extra, good for your pocket.
Extra kilometers goes a long way. Switch to Shell Fuel Save today. Go well.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Something small for the boys. Today, I know make I give you the latest film. Coca-Cola changed my price. But the price for the 300 ml Coca-Cola classic plastic bottle is now 5 Ghana cedis. The 300 Coke Zero, Fanta, and Sprite plastic bottles are also going for just 4 Ghana cedis. That'll be all over. The 1.5 Coke classic plastic bottle is 20 Ghana cedis. The same size 1.5 Coke Zero, Fanta, and Sprite plastic bottles sell at 18 Ghana cedis. Keep enjoying your favorite Coca-Cola at the best prices with friends and family. This advert is FDA approved.
Imagine running a business with 24/7 dedicated internet as well as calls to both local and international corporate clients at very affordable prices. Whatever your objectives, Airtel Tigo Business can help you through services like FlexiNet mobile broadband, among others. Call us at 0577 555 000 or email us at business@airteltigo.com.gh. Airtel Tigo Business, your total business solutions provider.
Awesome is not enough when you can amplify it. I mean, way up. If your phone doesn't have a 5000 mAh battery that allows you to use it from morning to night for 2 days, or a super fast processor that makes you stream, download, and game at high speed, or a 50 megapixel camera that allows you to take stunning photos even at night, or a 6.6-inch FHD plus screen that brings images to life and expands your view, then you need to amp your awesome. Get the new Samsung Galaxy A14 and amp your style. your speed, your play, your power, your game, and your awesome. Visit any authorized Samsung store and make it yours today. Samsung Galaxy A14.
My name is Seth McAndo, a certified registered anesthetist. We've known Old Mutual for 5 years now. And for us,
my
Old Mutual...
two cousins who are both mentally challenged, they depend on our family coupons to buy their medication. This is the two of them. We have traveled 2 hours to get here. For them to join these people who are our fellow Ghanaians to picket so that we can have our coupons. This lady's medication alone is over 2,000 cedis a month. Her lab tests, her medical appointments, her psychiatrist to visit her in the house. This lady also has to buy a lot of medication to keep her fit. Is this right? Who do we go to? Who's going to help us? They have been forced to get up early in the morning, drive in trotro in the heat to come here today. We got here even late. This is their carer, the lady I owe over 45,000 cedis, who has been sponsoring them because the cost of living has gone high. We want our coupons. It's very simple. It's very easy. Give us our money. We will never come. If you won't give us our coupon, give us our principals. We will do with it what we choose. It's our money. We worked for it. All of us here worked very hard, sweated and toiled. Give us our money. We shouldn't have to come here at this age. Why? You have no heart? Are we not human beings too? Why?
Let's go to Kojo Bonsu's campaign team as well and speak to Mohammed Alassan. He speaks for that campaign. Mr. Alassan, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Omar. How are you?
I'm well. Where does Kojo Bonsu stand in this ongoing brouhaha? What's the official position?
Well, we are in the middle. We are waiting for the discrepancies to be sorted. And whenever the election director of the NDC decides that the election will be held, it should be held. There were concerns of which we agreed with the concerns that, yes, there were some incomplete constituency voter register lists. We also raised concerns about having the accreditation for the polling agents and delegate agents that are not yet ready. So these concerns we have tabled that they should try as much as possible to ensure that all these things are cleared. But if they are not able to clear these discrepancies, then we agree that the election should be postponed. So this is our position.
So you stand by what Dr. Kwabena Dufo is doing then, even though you have not gone to the court, you have not joined the application, but you agree with him and you do not think the election should come off this Saturday?
We are of the opinion that there are discrepancies and that the discrepancies must be resolved before the election. If the discrepancies can be resolved and we are all happy, the election must go on as scheduled. If the discrepancy cannot be resolved before the election, then the election should be postponed. That is our position.
The party says it would give you the outstanding album by end of day today, 8 outstanding constituencies. Would that suffice as a resolution to the discrepancies so that you let the election go off, come off on Saturday? Dr. Kwabena Dufo's side thinks no. There will still need to be some scrutiny to be done, and that just 2 days to election would not be enough a time. If they handed over everything to you tonight, would you allow for the election to go ahead, or would you agree that the election goes on off on Saturday?
If we are handed the documents today, we will go through verifications and check if everything is fine. If we are able to finish our cross-check within the time and we realize that everything is fine, then there's no cause for alarm. But if we go through the documents and still there are some discrepancies, we will bring it to the attention of the party and the election directorate that, look, yes, you supplied us with these lists, but still, A, B, C, D, there are problems. If we are able to resolve it before Saturday, yes, we go to the election. But if we are not able to resolve it before Saturday, then of course it needs to be postponed because still we haven't solved our problem. So that is the position.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
That's Mohammed Alassan. He speaks for Kojo Bonsu, who is an NDC flag bearer aspirant.
Far as the domestic debt exchange is concerned and what this means for your money. We're going to start with the big five. We call the big five because there are many ways of evaluating a bank. So you could decide to use their market capitalization, but this will only work for banks that are on the stock exchange. But we're using the assets of the bank. So the assets of a bank typically would involve the equity. So what the owners of the bank have put in by way of capital, and then of course what the public has given those banks by way of deposits. So when you put your deposits and your capital together, you have your assets. Now, the 5 biggest banks in Ghana by way of assets are the following. EcoBank, GCB is number 2. Then you have Stanbic, Absa, and Fidelity. Very interesting mix. EcoBank is a foreign-owned bank with a mix of owners. GCB is a Ghanaian commercial bank. Then there's Stanbic Bank South Africa, Absa, which is now South Africa, originally UK, and then Fidelity, which is local. So these are your big 5. These are your big 5, just like the big 5 in Africa. Let's start with the EcoBank, right? So in terms of assets, this is the biggest bank in Ghana. Let's give you a few points about EcoBank. Started in the early 90s. This is one of the most respected banks on the continent, by the way. This bank has 63 branches. Now, we didn't want to use branch network to assess banks because you will notice
Citi Breakfast Show.
banks bigger than.
Wishing a few people happy birthday this morning. Yesterday was the birthday of Reverend Isuranaba of the Isunaba Ministries, founder of Fountain Gate Chapels. Happy birthday to you. We missed the birthday with all our discussions. It came in from multiple wishes. And to Kweku Yeboah in Yapam, wishing you a great day from your family and friends. Also wishing a happy birthday to my daughter, Ewenam Akosia Nutako. I wish her divine wisdom from above and peace, long life as she turns 9 today. From her father, Albert Kofi Nutako, alias Bebeto Odogu. Yeah, so Ewenam Akosia Nutako, happy 9th birthday to you. And to Mrs. Christine Asari of Bank of Ghana, you are God's walking testimony from Nana Opong and Sally Century. And to Dr. Sally Mensa Bonsu of Princess Marie Louis Children's Hospital, from Nana Opong, your husband and the kids Elaine and Gabriel. We love you so much, Mommy. To Chelsea Senam Ayi of Association International School, may the good things that God has for you materialize. Continue to exhibit the leadership role given to you. From Uncle Nick Clote, Auntie Anita, adorable, Mommy, Daddy, and your siblings. And wish my daughter Mekel Asantichum of Rich Church School a happy 15th birthday. From Johnson and her mom Cynthia and her siblings Deron and Eliana. Mekel Asantichum of Rich Church School, you are 15 years old today. Happy birthday to you, coming from your dad, your mom, and the siblings. In times when the storms and the tides are raging high, yeah, we know we shall win. We know we'll survive, yeah.
Let's take some of the birthday messages coming in. This one says that happy birthday to Dennis Ejekum of East Legon. Please get Sky to say he's a big man for me and bless him. I mean, God should bless him. It's coming in from Captain Opoku of the Ghana Armed Forces. Charlie, Ejekum, Charlie, you be Dennis Ejekum, you be big man brutal. No, God will bless you. This one says that today is the birthday of my wife, Christabel Emisa of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. It's coming in from Mike, who is expressing gratitude for you being an angel in his life, and is asking the heavens to actually continue to bless you.
Also wishing Kofi Asari, who is the chief executive of the Africa Education Watch, a happy birthday. A solid civil society education advocate. Kofi Asari, enjoy your day.
As well.
Coming in from Team City. Yeah, he's a farmer as well.
Yeah, he's a very, very prolific
And
farmer.
also wishing these married couples their 10th marriage anniversary. Mr. Nathaniel Nee and Mrs. Phyllis Sedinam Annan of Keeper's House Chapel Spintex. Mr. Wellington Etonam and Mrs. Bella Mawunya Jojoji of Global Evangelical Church Teshi. Indeed, through it all, the Lord's been faithful. May your next 10 plus years be more fulfilling. Coming in from Wendy and the husband.
This one says, happy birthday to my son, Semefa Kimathi Nyamiche Jija, from his father, Elikem Cash Jija. Is 3 years old today, and the father and the parents are celebrating Semefa.
And beyond Easter, there are travels and payments to be made. We know this at Republic Bank, which is why we continue to make all your payments. Which is why we say you should continue to make all your payments with our fantastic 4 credit cards. Enjoy discounts from our partner merchants, cashback rewards, global concierge services, and access to over 1 million ATMs worldwide, while you stand a chance of winning 2-day staycation at Aqua Safari and other amazing prizes. Just tap for Easter and beyond credit card promo and win. This promo is regulated by National Lottery Authority on the Caritas platform. Terms and conditions apply. And everybody's looking for that one thing that pushes them to bring out their best and enables them peak performance. Your car wants this too, and that's why your best bet is to give it Shell Helix engine oil lubricants. Shell Helix is specially designed to bring the best out of your engine, protecting it from wear and tear while providing the power and performance needed to give you the best ride every time. So whether you're cruising on the open road or battling with busy traffic, Shell Helix will keep your engine running smoothly. Choose Shell Helix lubricants. It's the lubricants king of kings. Don't forget, Mother's Day is here on the 14th. We bring you a portrait of Mama. Grab your tickets. Call 0205 973 973. 350 cedis per head. It's at the City Gardens, Ola Hansen Lane. Celebrate a portrait of Mama on Mother's Day with support from Dano Milk, Tasty Tom, The Juice Guy, and Verve de Venet. And there are levels to headaches, but the worst kind is when someone buys an item from your shop, sends you mobile money, leaves your shop, and you still don't have any notification of the cash in your account. You can avoid that with Blue Pay, which allows you to receive cash instantly from your customers. You only dial their phone number and the amount they owe. They'll receive the Blue Pay prompt on their phone to enter their PIN, and you get your money. Call or WhatsApp 054-722-0200 or visit thebluepenguin.com to register and get Blue Pay for your business. All right, so let's start with the NDC. Yesterday, I interviewed 2 people, and I was none the wiser as to whether the Congress or the election was coming on Saturday. I had Mustafa Gbande, who's a Deputy General Secretary, and then I had Antonio Asinyo, who is the spokesperson for Dr. Dufour. After that interview, I still didn't know. And in fact, when I asked Gbande, I asked him whether the election was going to come on and whether I should prepare for Saturday. He said I should prepare partially. and that even if it didn't come on, it was still a news item. But later on, I got a press release from Fifi Kwete, who suggested that they were working to make to sort of get the case heard earlier than the Monday. Now, the Electoral Commission had said that they were not able to organize the election until the matter had been dispensed with in court. So, Sky, from a legal perspective, it's either one of 2 things. Either the, is it appellant? Is that the name?
It's not an appellant. In this case, the
complainant.
The applicant.
The applicant, thank you. Either the applicant withdraws the case, or on Friday, if they go to court, the matter is dealt with. Both seem highly unlikely at this stage, based on what we know. But the MDC is pretty optimistic. In fact, I wanted to get the statement the party sent in the night as the basis for the quick discussion on what we've done.
Yeah.
So the statement was signed by Fifi Kwete.
Yep.
And it came in rather late. So what he's basically saying is that they are aware of the court case. And let me just read it verbatim. 10th May, NDC confident May 13 presidential and parliamentary primaries will be held as scheduled. The National Democratic Congress, further to a court action on the part of one of the presidential aspirants, wishes to assure presidential and parliamentary aspirants as well as the members, supporters, and sympathizers that the party is taking all legitimate and legal steps to pave way for the presidential and parliamentary primaries on Saturday, May 13. We want to urge party members and the people of Ghana to remain calm as the party, through its legal team, works to resolve the temporary challenges. It will be recalled that Dr. Kwabena Dufo, one of the 3 aspirants for president, on Tuesday filed a suit against the party seeking to injunct the primaries. While urging calm among our rank and file, wish to assure that the party, as of April 20th, 2023, had made available the full delegates list to all presidential candidates in line with our commitment stated in our guidelines, that this primary document will be furnished to all presidential candidates. The party is therefore confident that this temporary challenge will be quickly overcome to pave way for the holding of the primaries on schedule. It is our expectation that we shall put the larger interests of our great party ahead of all considerations, knowing that the good people of Ghana are eagerly looking up to our party come December 7 to rescue this nation from the current national collapse. Sky, so the impression I got from the interview with the 2 gentlemen was that they were coming from 2 angles. So Gbande is claiming that the primary document for the election is the register, of which all aspirants have been given copies. So this a register will be names of people. All right. So this is like names. Now, the case that Dr. Dufo has sent is based on a photo album register. All right. So the word register appears in both. But the party is saying we give a register of names to all the representatives. The aggrieved party says we are looking for a photo album of names for all 275 constituencies, of which 228 was purportedly given, of which only 220 actually happened to be true, of which another 74,000 names appeared without any justification, and another 3,800 disappeared. All right. So it would appear as if the Dufo team is looking to use the photo album register to validate the register.
Which they are entitled to do.
Good. And the party is saying that the register is the primary document that all the time we've been using. And in fact, listening to George Oparado on Eyewitness yesterday, it's like the photo album register was an additional step, which is new for this election. So according to him, in previous elections, they've used only the register, which was given in April. So you can say both have a case in a way. Do you understand? It's like somebody says, every election I give you a register of names, and I've given it to you. This guy says, well, by this election, you said you're going to add a photo album, which I want, which you have not fully given. You've given me some. And I'm using the photo album to verify the register. So if that is not done, I will feel disadvantaged. So the court has given a prima facie interlocutory, whatever you call it. You look at people.
Okay, so as we speak, the matter hasn't been heard. What he did was to take the matter to court, seeking the court to intervene. But there's a general principle of law in Ghana that says that before you take a matter as a member of a political party or an institution that has an internal grievance procedure or channels available, you need to first of all exhaust the internal procedures that are there. So first of all, the question that is generally valid to ask is whether Dr. Dufo exhausted those channels within the NDC. In other words, did he go to the party to ask questions? Okay, yes, I have legitimate expectations that you are going to give me this register that I asked for. You have not provided it, and I want the internal structures of the party to deal with it. And then perhaps the party people told him that, look, we are unable to deal with it. Listening to the gentleman you spoke to, Mr. Edem Asino, who is supposed to be the spokesperson of Dr. Dufo, from what he claimed yesterday on your program, The Point of View, there is a suggestion that they had engaged the internal processes and they could not get a proper remedy. So the only thing available to them was to go to the court. The NDC thinks otherwise. But the fact of the matter is now within the domain of the court. So the court ordinarily would have heard the matter at a later date.
My question to you before you go there is, if somebody seeks to injunct a process and uses what is called an interlocutory
interim,
what does that mean?
It means an interim injunction.
What does that? Where interim means what?
Normally, the courts will grant a 10-day an injunction which operates
in perpetuity.
For 10 days.
For 10 days.
Yeah, so that sometimes it's ex parte. So you alone go to court without, notifying the other side. Because
and then you go and injunct the process.
Exactly. So the court will give you what is an interim injunction pending full determination of
so that this injunction is freezing the process and then inviting the other party to come to the party.
Yes.
Pardon my pun. So the other party must then file some process.
Yes. So if it is ex parte, normally the other party is not informed.
Yeah, but how would so there are two parties here. There's the EC, there's the NDC.
There are three parties.
Yes.
So Bernard Avle, who is the plaintiff or the claimant or the applicant.
The one who says he's aggrieved. Then there's the NDC party represented by the General Secretary and the head of their
and then the Electoral Commission.
Then the EC.
Yes, so they are the people who would ordinarily who would be referred to as defendants or the respondents to the particular.
No, what I'm trying to understand is, did they go ex parte? That means they went.
No. On the facts, unless there's something else to the contrary, it does seem that all the parties have been served, including the National Democratic.
So I wanted to clarify that. So ex parte would have been, I went without telling you.
Yes.
But this one
was on notice.
So I went and I said to you that I'm doing this.
Yes.
So that you also know.
Exactly.
Good. And I'm asking, are they the ones who asked for an interlocutory or the court gave the interlocutory?
No. So the court hasn't granted anything.
So why is it called interlocutory?
No, it must be heard first of all. So when you make an application to the court, the court must hear the application. So if whether it is ex parte or on notice, the court must hear the matter and make a decision.
Wonderful.
So the court was, per the earlier facts that we had heard, the court would have heard the matter on a later date.
Okay.
But the NDC lawyers applied for abridgment of time. When they say abridgment of time, they are basically asking the court to reduce the space between the filing of the application and the hearing date. In other words, don't conform to the
regular.
Exactly. So make it quicker for
because
us. Because elections
the
are
consequence of not doing that may be too grievous.
Exactly. So the court decided that yes, we'll hear this matter. What date has it?
Abraham Amaliba said it's tomorrow.
So if it is tomorrow, it is well ahead of the proper day for the primary.
But does that not put too much pressure on the court?
Or
the court is able to handle it?
Not exactly, because if you look at it, the courts must do justice. You don't want the political processes within the NDC to be derailed.
By this. So the court can hear the matter tomorrow and still decide whether to maintain the injunction or to lift it.
Yes.
So
the injunction is not in operation presently.
Oh, okay.
It is just an application, and so that is one thing.
Thank you for that correction.
You see, people sometimes say that injunctions operate, merely filing an injunction operates as a stay. You understand? In other words, just because, so that is the difficulty you have with the Electoral Commission's position. The party has gone to court to say that, look, we have some problems with how the NDC is handling its electoral processes. We want the courts to intervene. What would the court do? The court will hear his case and make a decision.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he has also filed an application saying that I want to injunct the process, the pending full determination of the matter. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But it is interim. Now, what the Electoral Commission is doing is to say that, look, I have been served with a process.
Yeah.
Merely because I've been served with a process and because the matter is now within the domain of the court, I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Until it is determined.
Until it is determined. Now, some legal brains would tell you that merely filing an application for injunction should not operate as a stay. In other words, it should be properly stayed by the court. Do you understand? Because merely going to court to say that stop the NDC for doing this does not mean that the court will necessarily grant it.
But isn't the EC protected by the timelines? Because you see, on the 12 o'clock that they met, the date for hearing was 15th.
Yeah.
So the EC was playing it safe by saying that if the election is to be held on the 13th and the date for the hearing to determine whether the injunction is supposed to actually be valid or whatever is 15th, then there's no way they can do it on the 15th.
Yeah.
So implied in that is that if you are able to address the matter before the 13th, you can still come for another meeting, even though they didn't say that explicitly. So my point is that if the NDC had said to the EC that this matter will be heard on the 12. And the EC has said we don't have anything to do with the election. Then you can say the EC is wrong. But as of the time the EC was making the announcement that they can't do it, the first date for hearing was 15th. So it was not possible to go and hold.
No, so that's what I'm saying, that even if we were to maintain the 15th date, I am saying that merely going to court to say that I want the court to grant an injunction, right, to injunct a particular person from doing something, does not, without more, operate as a stay. However, I believe that what the Electoral Commission is doing is to show deference to the courts. So there are times that institutions of state or persons will say that, oh, yes, this matter is now a matter subject to litigation.
Okay.
And so because of the respect I have for the courts, and in order not to do anything that would, if you like, affect the outcome of the case, let me show respect to the court and not do
So you are
anything.
saying that the EC could have said that even though we have been served with this notice, because the matter has not been heard
and decided,
we can still go ahead.
We would or
they can choose.
So they could have continued with the processes unless expressly stayed by the court. But you see, that's why I'm saying that it depends on the view that the lawyers of the Electoral Commission, take on the matter. Whether they believe that, look, show respect to the court, or they say that, okay.
So are you saying there are legal precedents to both views, that in some cases, some lawyers who believe that the fact that you have notified me of an injunction does not necessarily...
Hold on. See, let's choose
I'm using technical words.
Yes. The court hasn't granted an injunction.
You have notified me of a filing of a process for injunction.
Does not, without more, and that's why I'm qualifying it, operate as a stay.
I get you.
That you should not do A, B, C.
But you are saying that there are two schools of thought, which means that there are some lawyers who believe that once somebody has been served with the process of an injunction, until the matter is heard, the injunction is valid.
No, I don't know how to explain this to you, Bernard.
Yes.
You see, the reason is that...
You are saying I shouldn't use an injunction.
Because...
But the document I read said that they are requesting for an injunction.
Yes, so it is not an injunction. You are asking...
Yes, I understand. So it's like I'm saying that I am applying for something.
It has not been granted yet. Yet you are saying that because you have gone for that application, which the court may or may not grant, you, the person affected by that application, you should stop all processes relating to what you are doing.
So, but I mean, this is I'm not a lawyer. I'm just thinking about this normally. So, if somebody has said that by you organizing the election, I will be injured because I'm disadvantaged, so the court should stay the process. Okay, so I think the first problem we have is, why is the court determining the thing on the 15th when the election is on the 13th? Because if I've gone on the 10th and there's something happening on the 13th, to prevent all this legal coming, simply say, okay, I've gone on the 10th, so let's hear the thing on the 11th. But you said the thing is on the 15th. So now the EC has to make a decision. Do we interpret that request you've made to the court to mean that the court has actually granted it or not? And I'm saying this is unnecessary technicalities.
Okay, so let me explain it.
You get me?
Yes. So you see, let me address your question.
Lawyers cry, move along too much. But you don't get my point. Somebody, this is simple common sense. Somebody comes to you. Sorry, I'm not insulting court. Somebody comes, says, somebody is doing an election on Saturday.
Yes.
And the election, the way they are going to do it is to disadvantage me.
Yes.
So I want you to decide that the guy should give me this or that before the election. And the election is going to be held on the 13th. So why don't you let them hear the matter before the 13th? They're going to put the thing on the 15th.
You say, okay, let me explain.
Then, so what are you supposed to do?
You see, no, let me explain. You see, there are people with equally, serious matters before the court.
And so what?
That doesn't mean that they should stay all of those people's matters and deal with...
But not everybody's matter is happening on the 13th.
No, hold on. Let me explain. What I'm saying is that people have issues affecting them, which are time-bound, which need to be dealt with. Some people's cases have been there for 3 years, 4 years. And there are normal durations between the filing of a process and the hearing of the same. And you can make an application to reduce that time. So if you go and file a process, it will take the normal course of events. Now, what a diligent lawyer would do is to what the NDC did. Apply for abridgment of time. So reduce the space between the filing date and then the hearing date, which the court has done. And then also don't forget that, look, the EC could have still gone ahead with the elections. And then the court, after hearing the matter, and I'm not saying I'm deciding the matter, could say that, look, because of justice in this case, I think that the process should be entirely annulled. So then you do it again. So merely because the NDC goes to hold an election on the 13th does not mean that a court is stopped from deciding the matter and holding, if it so believes, on the evidence that, this matter the NDC hasn't done well, and therefore we are annulling the entire process. The precedence is there.
So your argument is that the EC could have chosen to go ahead with the election. Indeed, I'm being told now by lawyer Koshiga that the EC is showing. Now, let me read what Koshiga is saying to me to help you discuss it. They said the EC is showing double standards. He says, when I served an application for interlocutory injunction on it to restrain them in 2018 from going ahead with a referendum to create new regions, they ignored and went ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so I think your point is that they can make a decision based on the way they interpret the situation, whether to respect the court in this case or not.
So that's why I'm saying that the general position of the law is that merely filing a process to injunct somebody does not operate as a state.
And I'm saying that if what Koshiga is saying is true, so it means that in that case, they decided that even though there was an interlocutory injunction, they will go ahead with the creation.
Exactly.
Because they thought the matter may take too long.
So that's why I explained to you earlier that it depends on the view that the lawyers of the Electoral Commission take on the matter. And the advice they provide to the Electoral Commission, that because of I'm not privy to that advice.
I get you.
Because of A, B, C, D, we think don't go ahead. But whatever it is, what the Electoral Commission has done is a question of showing deference, respect to them.
And I'm also told that there's another case of the Republic versus Bank of Ghana ex parte Dufour. So this is the same Dufour guy, I believe, where the court took the view that a pending application should be respected. So what he's saying is that it's possible both ways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's possible both ways.
Respected.
Yes.
But it does not operate as a state.
I get you. So you can choose to respect it based on your deference. That's the word you use.
Respect to the court.
Wonderful. I'm sure if I open this up to legal things, everybody will have a view, because this is your friend Nia Patu's view. It says service of an application for injunction on a party operates as a stay. This is the position of the law.
Okay.
EC will be in contempt, NDC will be in contempt. This is Apatu's view.
Well, I mean that.
But Koshiga's view is different.
Yes.
Okay, Apatu, I can have authority. Koshiga gave us two views. So Koshiga says, in this case, and both of these are former employees of the company anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
So Koshiga says the EC is showing double standard because when he served an interlocutory injunction to restrain them in 2018 from going ahead with the referendum, they ignored and went ahead. So in that case, they didn't see the thing as operating as a state. But in the ex parte Dufour Republic versus Bank of Ghana, the court took the view that a pending application should be respected. So that means that there are two possibilities. Ni is saying that no.
If there's a new position of the law, I mean, they should, they should.
Okay, so Ni. Sky says you should send. You should send.
Oh yeah, I mean the law is always in motion.
You see why we say we'll just do our accounts.
We'll just talk and mind our business.
This law matter. But my own is simple. If I'm a chief in a house and somebody says they want to marry somebody on Saturday, it's common sense. They want to marry somebody on Saturday, and that they don't think that this person is qualified to marry their daughter, so they want me to hear the case. Then I'll say, okay. Yes, I will hear the case on Monday after they do the wedding on Saturday.
You see,
it's so simple. The thing is that once they have to hear once the wedding is selected for Saturday and they have made preparation, they bought a ram, they bought wedding clothes, and they brought the thing to me on Tuesday. I should be able to meet and put everything aside and say, because of the urgency of the fact that the wedding is on Wednesday, on Saturday, I'll hear the matter on Thursday or Friday or Saturday. So if I, in my wisdom, say I'll hear them on Monday, it means that implicitly I am trying to say that either my judgment is not necessary or I'm saying that they should cancel the wedding.
No, that's not what it means.
That's what I understand it to be. You are a lawyer, me, I'm not.
You see, all it means
anything that common people cannot understand is not. This is simple common sense.
Bernard, is it possible to do the wedding on another day?
I don't know.
Without causing injury to the parties.
That depends on.
If you don't marry on the very day that you have elected,
that's why I'm saying that. So did the court ask how much I've invested in the wedding?
You see, that's the point I'm making to you.
So the best thing to do is to hear the case before the Saturday.
Wait, Bernard. Simple. You see, Bernard. It is a process. It's procedure. When you file an application, they don't hear it the same day.
Yes.
You understand? There's a normal duration within which the administrative processes will be done and the hearing.
I get it. But this is not an. You see, that's what I'm saying. That there are different cases, which is why even in Ghana's own wisdom, we created a fast track court. We understand the whole issue of
that is why the NDC people apply to that.
No, I understand. I'm just saying that sometimes you lawyers make things too complicated. This is a simple issue.
This guy.
You get me? Like, am I being facetious here? Mm-hmm. You have a major political party in the country trying to hold an election on a Saturday. Somebody has gone to court to say they feel that they will be aggrieved the election is held. Now, to hold a national election in 2025 constituency requires a lot of resources. It's a big thing.
Yes, it's not in that.
And then for somebody to say, I feel aggrieved, it's also big, but it's also invested in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to prevent all this legal community, find a way of... And the guy brought the tea on Tuesday. He didn't bring the tea on Friday. He brought the tea on Tuesday. And he managed to serve everybody by Wednesday.
So your view,
and then you said that they should meet on Monday.
So your view is that all other things in the court or all the other cases should stay.
They should
just so they can hear the NDC matter. Well, it doesn't work like that.
That's what we have to change.
So you make an application, which the NDC has done.
Yes.
The court has given them, a favorable outcome. We'll hear this quicker than normal, so that we'll deal with the matter. And it is not automatic that you have filed an application, so it will be granted.
You have earned your qualification for the week. Me, I'm not a lawyer, so you've defended the legal process. God bless me there. Please do things so that we can all follow. Anyway, we are waiting for the authority because according to Sky, the authority must be brought. Selom too has joined the fray.
The lawyers cry.
The latest view in respect of this from the High Court in the GFA and Ashanti Gold contempt matter is that the court expects the application as filed to be respected or to operate as a stay. GFA General Secretary was found in contempt of court and jailed for 1 day because he went ahead to start the league when the application was pending. This happened about a month ago. Justice Abudakwi's court. So Nia Patu and Salom Adonu have provided
that this is
the evidence that in the latest case, I don't know how you guys do it, so like maybe the most recent case. So he's saying that in the High Court case between GFA and Ashanti Gold, so I think Ashanti Gold had filed an application for an injunction on the league.
Okay.
And then the GFA went ahead to start the league.
Okay.
Now, according to Selom, the GFA General Secretary, who I believe was served with the process and decided to start the league, was found in contempt of court. And then he was jailed for 1 day. So actually, so it means that if this is to be believed, the EC was right.
Yeah, I mean, if this happened how long ago? A month ago?
This is a month ago. So
that's an interesting development.
So,
except that we should take note that it's a High Court decision.
What does that mean?
In the pecking order of things, right? You have the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, the High Court. And so if there are contradictory
judgments, but do you guys work with the latest or the highest? So I'm asking again, this is not to scare. If there's like a Supreme Court decision 10 years ago and there's a High Court decision last week, which one is more?
If it is inconsistent with the Supreme Court decision,
the Supreme Court still holds
with the Supreme Court decision.
You hierarchy of laws. So Selom, Nia Patu, and Albert Koshigan, thank you for your help.
Solid.
So this morning we will try and see what will happen. The matter is tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
we'll be heading.
And to be clear, we are not deciding the cases here.
No,
we are just providing,
But I mean, I think that the thing should have been heard before this Monday.
It should have gone.
And I hope
10 months
I'm not
ago.
in contempt by saying that. Anyway, it's tech and social media trends. Later, I'll be speaking to the ECG boss. There have been a couple of complaints about Dumso re-emerging. On my Twitter timeline, I've had a lot of that. So I'll speak to Dubik Mahama about this, and also some issues to do with the ECG app. But Vodafone is proud to be associated with a segment, and if you want the best value data and voice offer, look no further, as Vodafone has unbeatable deals made just for you. To enjoy these amazing Vodafone offers, dial *530#, get onto any of the Vodafone Made For Me bundles. From as little as 1 CD, Vodafone Made For Me has got what you need. This offer is especially made for you. Vodafone, further together. And FBN Bank puts the B before the N because they put you, the customer, before other interests. Now, you deserve the finer things in life, and banking is no exception. That's why we've designed our products and services just for you. So when you think of a bank that puts you first, think FBN, you first. Nathan will give us a long-delayed Charlie, the lawyers won't let me rest.
Charlie, too.
They are still at you.
Hey,
anyway,
I'm in Lenny John.
Yeah.
Anyway,
a few things trending. So yesterday I mentioned that Yao Dabo was in the trends. He's still in the trends after granting that very interesting post-game interview. Yesterday, he was invited to the offices of Marca. Marca is Spain's biggest sports newspaper. And if you choose to believe the politics, they are pro-Real Madrid. Yeah, so he went to Marca's office yesterday. So that's what he did yesterday at Marca. Kojo Bonsu is trending, of course, concerning the NDC primary. Several people are talking about him. He said if the NDC can't get themselves together, then they shouldn't hold the primaries. So that's trending as well. Now, the names Kufuor and Rawlings are also trending. So yesterday, somewhere on social, the debate arose that somebody said, well, John Kufuor was the Fourth Republic's best president. So there were some debate. Somebody said no, others said yes. And it's Anyway, for the NBA heads, Warriors in 7 is trending. Game 6, Clay is trending. Poole is trending. Curry is trending. And all of that. If you go to some tech news, very interesting time. We are in the time of AI, okay? So this story says Google has announced that it is rolling out generative AI to its core search engine. The move comes after Microsoft incorporated GPT-4 into its Bing search engine earlier this year. Now, search generative experience will be part of Google and it will craft responses to open-ended queries. That's according to the company. However, the system will only be available to a limited number of users and it is still in an experimental phase. Now, Sundar Pichai, who is the boss of Google's parent company, Alphabet, said, quote, "We are reimagining all of our core products, including search," end quote. Now, additionally, the company announced a new feature on Google's Android system, which will proactively warn users about unknown air tags, which are tiny devices developed to track personal items like keys and wallets.
All right. That was Second Social Media Trends brought to you by FBN Bank, You First, and Vodafone, further together.
One day, an old lady inherited a huge sum of money. Her family worried about how to break the good news to her. They feared that the sudden good news might give her a heart attack. And so they decided the family doctor who was experienced in delivering such news should be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she just smiled. Relieved, he asked, "What are you going to do with all that money?" She replied, "I'm going to give you half." The doctor had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At FBN Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Open an account with us today and enjoy mobile banking, USSD banking, shop and pay with our prepaid Visa cards, MasterCard, and many other services designed with you in mind. FBN Bank, you first.
Ever visited a shop, picked a whole basket of provisions, toiletries, and very essential things you need, battled a long queue to finally pay, only to be told you can't pay to a merchant number? The way that thing they pay, but with Vodafone Cash, there is no problem. Now on Vodafone Cash, you can pay all merchants on all networks. Easy peasy. Straight. Direct. Sharp. From your Vodafone Cash wallet to any merchant number on other networks. So whether you are buying provisions or fuel, medication or food, whatever the service or need, just pay conveniently from Vodafone Cash to any merchant's number. Simply dial *110# to make payment to merchants on other networks today.
Vodafone. Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
There's a queen in every woman, an embodiment of sophistication and strength, overflowing with color, light, and love. Every woman is a queen, and with GTP's all-new Ohima collection, you get in touch with your inner royalty. Crown your style. New Ohima collection from GTP, now available at any of our accredited dealers nationwide or any Woodin shop. GTP, life styled.
Hello, fellow citizens. Are you worried about where to treat your kidneys and liver diseases? Well, let me use this opportunity to introduce to you the best kidney and liver health facility in Ghana. Big Dank Healthcare offers treatment and management of the following: fatty liver, kidney stones, hydronephrosis, pyelonephritis, hepatomegaly, protein in the urine, and many more. Visit Big Dank Healthcare to see a kidney and liver specialist, Dr. Victor Nanadankwa, who has been awarded and honored by UN as the icon of peace by Highstone International University, Texas, USA. Big Dank Healthcare, a Ghana Health Service certified healthcare facility, is licensed under the Traditional Medicine Practice Council with 100% natural medicine from India for all treatments. Visit Big Dank Healthcare on the Spintex Road, Coca-Cola Roundabout, behind Standard Chartered Bank. You can also call Big Dank Healthcare on 0549 951 211 or 0502 661 346.
Shit, wahala no get breaks so. What is it? Some customers have left. Their mobile money payment didn't come. What?
Avoid such payment issues with BluePay. BluePay lets you easily receive payments on your mobile device with no e-levy charges. Simply enter your customer's number and the amount to be paid on your BluePay app. The customer will receive the BluePay prompt to confirm with their PIN instantly. Customers can also pay with bank cards using the BluePay POS device. Call or WhatsApp 054-7220-200 or visit thebluepenguin.com to register and get BluePay for your business today. BluePay, never miss a sale.
Sweet, sweet mothers, how could we ever forget you? This year, on Mother's Day, we plan to do quite the festive opposite. What better way to show out for our beloved matriarchs than an entire evening dedicated to celebrating the phenomenon that is motherhood. Mama's boys and mama's girls, for all their love and sacrifices, here comes the ultimate Mother's Day gift. Picture this: a flavorous Ghanaian spread with countless mouth-watering treats, just like Mama's cooking. A glitzy dance floor serenaded by Mama's favorite tunes, just for Mama to boogie. And a stunningly intricate portrait of Mama, just to remind Mama how truly beautiful she is. Join us on Sunday, the 14th of May, 2023 at 4 p.m. for an enchanting evening of appreciation and enjoyment for our feminine support systems. The venue is at the City Gardens, number 5, Ola Hansen Lane, Tesano, and the rate is a cool 350 Ghana cedis. It's going to be an evening of Ghanaian food, dance, and the celebration of motherhood. So book now and secure a seat for Mama at the A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner now. For more enquiries, call 020-5973-973. The A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is sponsored by Dano Milk and Tasty Tom and supported by The Juice Guy and Verve du Vernet.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
18 minutes past 8, Citi Breakfast Show. Before I come back to the legal issues, if you are a successful executive who wants to challenge yourself to do more for yourself, your organization, or society, it's time to consider the doctorate program in business admin in leadership at the Nobel International Business School. The program transforms you into a practitioner scholar who merges theory and practice for evidence-based decision-making and leadership. Graduate with a strong network of leaders and top executives from Africa's leading companies, organizations, and governments. Call 0262-367-830 or visit nips.edu.gh to enroll now. Be treasured, discover, lead, share. All right, now I have a lot of different views on this matter. I'm just going to read all the comments I've gotten, then you decide where the chips may fall. I'm going to speak to ECG also about the recent cases of power outages and what is causing it and some other issues. Now, here's one. He says, Bernard, the court case filed by the parties has the stamp of the court on the application. That in itself is a service served, so the Electoral Commission has a point to not proceed, particularly when there's a date on the application which notifies the court of the date the notion will be served. Once the court admits the application, it means any action taken before the application is heard will nullify it. So in principle, if a service is served with the court stamp and a date set for the hearing, it is only plausible that until the matter is heard properly, all matters relating to the case must be stayed until otherwise advised by the court. This is coming in from a lawyer, I believe. I think his name is Prince. Yes, another one. But with the referendum, it was a national exercise and the Constitution lays responsibility on them, just like the election. With the NDC one, it's based on NDC laws and not national law. That enshrines the EC. Two different points. When the law gave them power, they can ignore one person's request for the law court. Okay, so that's your view on the contradiction that Richard Albert Koshiga pointed out. Hello, Bernard. I fully agree with you. I was surprised at the move of the court to hear the matter on Monday when the NDC has scheduled the election on Saturday. I'm a lawyer, and I believe the court could have done better. Some matters are of national interest, and courts must be inclined to do that. Service of injunction application serves as a stay, else it will be rendered the case mute. So, yeah, this one, I don't have the name. Lawyer Edem says, Bernard, I was part of the lawyers for the GFA. Selom is wrong. In the GFA matter, the 10-day injunction had been granted, but the issue was whether the order was properly served on the GFA. That notwithstanding, once an injunction application is served on you, you have to hold your hand until it is heard by the courts. Well, Edem, that's exactly what Edem is. That's exactly what Selom is saying.
I have a question. Do the NDC need the EC for this particular election?
275 constituencies, over 2,000 candidates.
The political party regulations deal with executive elections of executives, not parliamentary primaries.
No, but I'm saying that you are doing primaries in almost 270 something constituencies.
Yes.
You have about an average of 4 or 5 candidates per thing.
Yes.
And then you have a presidential primary.
Yes.
I mean, if looking at the way our political parties are structured, do they have competence in actually organizing elections?
Bernard!
Organizing, no. See, and the other point we are making is that there's an executive.
Bernard,
who are they going to bring to organize the election?
But Bernard, hold on. The electoral system that we run in this country has basically been designed and refined by the political parties themselves over the past 20 years at IPAC. So alongside, I'm just saying, you are saying that do they know how to organize elections? And I'm saying the processes we have.
Let me rephrase. No,
political parties. That's what he said.
No, the question you're asking me is that do the NDC need the EC? And I'm saying that.
Yeah, I'm saying statutorily. Do they need
and I'm saying
EC for
not
not
statutorily.
That's what I'm saying. Statutorily.
No, practically. You can have knowledge about how elections are held. Now, as a political party, if you are going to hold an election, I was at the stadium when they were. I don't know any institution in the country that has the capacity to hold elections in terms of managing the ballot paper process, going through the legal procedures of making sure an election is clean. That's why the political parties themselves should be careful when they bastardize the EC. Because organizing an election is a specialized skill, which the EC is the best at, as we have it. So, and you think that NDC, if they could organize the election on their own, they'll go to the EC and then the other thing the EC said was that they've been meeting for like 5 times. So they've already had a meeting and planning and things.
Yeah, I'm just asking. So, ask whether they need them.
Oh, they do.
Okay.
They do. Unless you set up an independent election, unless you set up a private election organizing company. You get me? So I think they do. Let me just read some of the legal views and then Sky, I'll come and wrap this up. Yeah. So they are different. I'm bringing all together. Bernard, this is another lawyer, Waka. He says, Bernard, the return date for the application is determined by the lawyer of the applicant and the registrar. The judge does not have a hand in or knowledge of it.
Yeah, that's true.
If the other party finds the date unfavorable, they can apply to abridge the time, which they have done. The politics of the thing is such that if it would favor the first team, if the election is injuncted or postponed, finally, once an application is filed, you are stopped Charlie, the word is stopped.
Yeah, that's a legal term.
Is and plus stop.
Yes.
Lawyers are funny. You are stopped from acting in a way. Why does he say you are stopped?
No, that is more elegant to use. you the ordinary people can say that. But the learned people use a more elegant.
We are stopped from acting. We are stopped from acting in a way that would end up making the. So it seems to me that a lot of people are of the view that once the matter has been put before, once the injunction process has been filed, if you go and do the substantive thing, you are going to render the case nugatory.
Okay, so let me tell you why there's a lot of division out there within the legal profession on this matter. If we go by the position that once a process is filed, injuncting you from doing A, B, C, D, you are, as the lawyer said, stopped from doing that fact. Then a typical example would be tomorrow I file a process injuncting, say, the Speaker of Parliament for calling Parliament to reconvene, or saying that Parliament cannot sit on a particular date, right? The matter is pending. Parliament was to do something serious the very day that I was seeking to injunct them from doing that thing. By reason of the mere filing of the or service of that application on the Speaker of Parliament, I'm saying that that day Parliament would not sit. Do you understand? What do you think would result from that? So that is why there is a strong view that it doesn't make sense to say that merely filing an application should operate as a stay. Similarly, if I come to serve you with a process that tomorrow Citi Breakfast Show should not happen. The court hasn't decided the matter yet you and Samens have received the process. What it means, strictly speaking, by reason of service of the process on you, tomorrow, listeners of Citi FM will not listen to Citi Breakfast Show. Tomorrow, you will not be able to come here. Tomorrow, advertisers who have brought businesses to you, they will not be able to have their adverts aired because of that. You understand? So that is one side of it, and those are the negatives.
So are we saying that in Ghana there are cases which have had the courts tilt to both sides? That in some cases the courts will say merely filing the process is a substantive one in terms of the fact that you are injuncted until I hear the matter. And in other cases the courts have been lenient because they have pointed the GFA case, which is a high court case. I'm also told that the Bank of Ghana, let me read that case for you. The Republic versus Bank of Ghana ex parte Dufour was a Supreme Court decision in which the court took the view that a pending application should be respected. So what they are saying is that they've given me two examples. Those who are saying that the notification serves as an injunction in substantive terms, I've given me two cases. They've given me the Republic versus Bank of Ghana ex parte Dufour, and they've given me GFA versus GFA. One is a high court, one is a Supreme Court. And in both cases, the court took the view that the application which is pending should be respected. So the onus is now on you, the people who are saying that there are two sides, to also now pull Ghanaian cases, case law. And then we can then look at it. So, but I just wanted to move to the other political dimensions of the case. But I thank you for the legal education. Politically speaking, what do you think is the possible outcome of tomorrow? Not legally, politically. Because if you look at an election, you've covered elections a lot. If you are doing a national level election for 270-something constituencies, presidential and parliamentary. So, for example, are there date-sensitive expenditures? Or they are more... So, like, if I book a hotel, can I say that the hotel has been booked, but we can hold the election in July? That type of thing. Because I'm sure the NDC may argue that the level of investment and preparation made for this, if you are supposed to not hold it on Saturday, it will probably make it important. I don't know what you know about elections and those things.
So I will explain a little bit of the things that the judges take into consideration when granting an application for injunction. So when you go to court seeking an application for injunctions, as a general principle, you are saying that somebody should not do something. If the person goes ahead, it would affect you in a way or two. So the court should stop the person. Meanwhile, your substantive case should be heard and decided. You understand? So an injunction will be granted, stay the person from doing what he wants to do until the matter is decided. You understand? Now, in looking at whether or not they should grant the injunction, the court will take a number of things into consideration. So, first of all, it is a discretionary remedy. The court can refuse it and say that, look, we don't think there is merit in it. We are dismissing it. Or they can grant it. Now, the court will consider a number of factors. The first one could be what? The balance of probabilities or convenience. So, would it be more disastrous for the NDC to grant the application, stay the elections, in which case Dr. Dufour wins, and then the NDC doesn't hold the elections? What will happen? All these things that you have said, the booking of hotels, the processes that have been done, the ballot boxes have been dispatched. Is there a place of keeping them until after the matter is decided? Is there a likelihood that, those ballot boxes will be damaged as a result of keeping them at a place that is not proper? So that is one of the things that the court would consider. Also, they will also look at the likelihood of success of the case that the man has brought to court. So the case that you have brought, is it a frivolous case, or is it reasonable to expect that, there are something there inside? So if the court look at it and they think that this is a frivolous application, they will dismiss it. Do you understand? And then they proceed to deal with the matter. And then also, is there a potential harm, which links back to the earlier point that I've made? So in this case of Dufour, if the matter is decided and the court say that, NDC, stop the elections, like I said, they will be harmed by reason of the arrangements that they have made. But in the case of...
You have to weigh that against what Dufour's loss will be.
Exactly. So if they go ahead and Dufour loses the elections, and the reason for losing is not merely because of, the questions that have been raised, but because there were inherent flaws in the register.
Then he has also suffered some loss.
Exactly.
Are there remedies if he loses because of those things?
And then also there's a question of whether it is possible to compensate for the harm that you have suffered.
So these are very delicate, complicated matters before the court.
So is it possible that we can pay some money to the person who brought the application to compensate for whatever harm that he would suffer? So that delicate balance.
But let's come back to another point, which is that not why they usually say you should exhaust internal processes? Who determines whether a process has been exhausted? Because I heard again they were asking Pablo yesterday, and I feel like some people think, again, I asked Ashinyo, and he says, look, we wrote to these guys, they didn't respond. We've written to them 3 times, they didn't get a response. I asked Bande, why didn't you respond? He says, well, he gave me a very funny answer. I said, if you write to me that you want a cutlass, and I bring you a cutlass, why are you asking me why I didn't write to respond that this is the cutlass? This is the answer he gave me. So his point was that they were addressing the issue. So writing is not the solution, but in addressing the person's grievance. Meanwhile, Senior says, look, we wrote to you 3 times, you didn't respond. So if you didn't respond, it means that we started the process. So will the court also consider the issue of internal processes?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So that would be one of the issues that I believe the NDC people will be raising strongly, as to argue that, well, in their view, I'm suspecting, they do not think that the guy, Dr. Dufour's team, they have exhausted the internal procedures laid down. And if that view holds, then the court is likely to take its own view of it and make a decision based on that.
Let's read a few comments, and then I'll move to the next subject. So, Caleb, please get ready. I'm going to go to ECG shortly. But, Nathan, if you can help me with some of the views on this legal quagmire that we have found ourselves in.
All right. This one says, please ask Sky whether EC will respect and put a hold on the December 7 elections.
Sky doesn't speak for the EC, so the kind of question you're asking,
I'm just providing legal education, some help. He's not
even speaking for any EC.
I'm not speaking for NDC.
All right. This one says, if the EC went ahead to defy a pending application or an interlocutory injunction by a party on the opening of a new voter register in 2018, I'd be surprised to hear tags of double standards by the EC. In any case, if a party was not happy with the action of the EC then, why would the same party expect that the EC would take the same trajectory? Okay? That's from Yakubu Nyame Ibn Chambers. This one says, good morning, Bernard. The anomalies do not warrant such a quick response from Dr. Dufour and his team. This is a calculated attempt by them to cause confusion. In any case, we all know the percentage of votes he was going to get.
We don't know. How do you know?
This one. This one says, okay, ask Kai, when does it become contempt?
I think they used the GFA case. They went ahead to go and do the football when they said they shouldn't do the football.
So if you act in any way that disrespects the court, or is likely to give that result, the court sign.
But when they say
to direct the person, his assigns and his agents, and his does that include with the media?
No.
So like the EC and the NDC are organizing their thing, and we will say we are media lab, we want to cover. So they didn't set the thing on us. Yes. So if the EC and NDC decided that they were going to go ahead, and assume they were found in contempt, will a journalist holding a mic there also be in contempt?
No. It depends on what the interpretation, the strict interpretation is. It can't
so
be
we can go.
No, it can't be extended to.
We'll cover.
Okay. All right. This one says, last night I heard the director of elections of the EC, Dr. Sirbo Kweku, on the TV station saying that even if the NDC is able to resolve its court case on Friday, between Friday and Saturday is too short a time for the EC to prep and organize the election.
But I thought they said they had 5 meetings or so, according to the EC's own statement. They said there had been a series of meetings held to plan for this.
All right. Frederick says, the view espoused by Richard Sky is the minority view on the matter. Once the injunction is served, the respondent is barred from proceeding. That is why the NDC and the EC have taken that position. They proceed at the risk of contempt. All right, this one says, Ben, the return date for the application is determined by the lawyer.
I think we've read
I've read this one.
Okay,
this is from Waka,
yes. Bernard, everyone knows, even a toddler knows the push factors to all that is happening with the NDC's impending elections. The people behind this injunction and the EC's rash public announcement need no IT expert to decode the source code. We know where the smoke is coming from.
If you know where the smoke is coming from, then go and quench it.
All right. This one says, let's not get bogged in the legalese. The broader issue here is anti-democratic practices in political parties. The courts have become tools of administrative injustice where legal procedures are used to punish dissidents or critiques of the government.
But that suggests that the courts are pliable, because the court is also where you get your remedy. So if the parties are anti-democratic and you go to court, you should be able to find relief there. And the legality of that discussion is what we're having. Okay, you if you say that the parties have anti-democratic practices, as determined by who? What is a democratic practice? It is only the court. So, like, for example, what Dr. Dufour is claiming, it is the court that will affirm it. All right. So, on the face of it, you can say something is undemocratic. When you interview the NDC people, they say that, well, we give the person the register and that we didn't promise a photo album register. Where I agree with you is that the political parties themselves, a lot of their procedures are arbitrary. And some of these cases help them to structure and streamline things better.
Well,
in fact, particularly when it comes to parliamentary primaries and people being disenfranchised, or people being like, maybe Sky is a very experienced MP for some area and he's a former minister, and I want to go against Sky. Say, Jalowski is a young guy. Sky is an important guy for the party. So they will say Bernard is not qualified. I mean, Bernard has been in the party for 20 years. He's paid all his dues. They will say, oh, he has not nurtured the party at the grassroots level. Then they'll throw him away.
That's right.
Then you go. Then if he goes to court, they'll say he's taking the party to court. So he has brought the party's name into disrepute. Meanwhile, the internal process is skewed in favor of Sky.
Expel him.
Because Sky is a big man in the party and I'm a small boy. So that's the point. Maybe on that point, I agree with me that in those cases, the political parties use their internal processes to frustrate people who are of lower power classes.
There's a response to that. If you look at Article 55 of the Constitution, Clause 5, it says that the internal organization of a political party shall conform to democratic principles, and its actions and purposes shall not contravene or be inconsistent with this Constitution or any.
But a lot of times it is, and nobody is even. And when you take when you take it to court, they will say you have taken the party to court, so they will sack you.
So if they sack you and you believe that the sacking is unfair, you can challenge the sacking in court.
Charlie, you are a minority view guy, because political parties, people, they think like group. They don't. That's why they suffer. The way you think. Most people don't think like you. They just want to, because you see, it's like, I want to join the party. If I talk, they will sack me. I don't have any money.
So you be quiet there.
That's why we are suffering. This is because the way you think about the things, like, Charlie, we have to defend that. No, they don't think like that. I have people I know who are running for primaries or whatever, or they've been trying for years. They'll disqualify, they come up and down. That's all they do.
You see, so let's superimpose what's happening in the NDC right now on a national election.
Good point.
And say that the Electoral Commission hasn't provided the data or the proper, album to the NDC or the political parties.
Yes.
Do you honestly believe that the NDC will sit down and keep quiet and say that, Electoral Commission, you go ahead, despite all the fact that the fact that I don't have all the
That's a good question. But the second good question is that let's assume we extend that your hypothesis, and NDC says they are going to the court to injunct the NDC, EC from holding an election. Do you think the EC will also say that because NDC has gone to court, we won't hold the election? So if you can't answer my question, I can't answer your own. Oh my God. All right, so Nathan, have you had light off in the past few weeks?
Yes, Tuesday night.
Only Tuesday night? Because
yes.
I think almost every 3 days I have power off.
Tuesday night. Before that, Saturday and Sunday, it went on, off a few times. But Tuesday night, they actually nothing.
The whole night?
Can you believe that, Bernard? Just when I had gone to drink water and I was coming to sit down and watch Real Madrid and Man City,
the light went off. You just convert it into a prayer meeting. Your light went off.
Really bad.
Charlie.
Well, the reason I'm asking this question is that we spoke
and it turns out a lot of people experience that power cut on Monday.
And Gridco is affirming this. So get the long version. Jifa Bampo Behu, I think that's her name, has been speaking to us on the interruption in power supply recorded in some parts of the country over the past few days.
So we've had a gas supply challenge from Nigeria. That's been the fundamental reason. But it has led to a multiplier effect, meaning that our plants, our generating plants which use gas cannot operate fully. Some of these plants can operate with liquid fuel oil. And for those who can, and for those that have stock, they are able to generate. But what it is that on Monday and on, I think yesterday, we had challenges getting a full capacity of the power supply. And that is why there's been this intermittent power supply. We apologize to Ghanaians for it, because ultimately, if there's going to be any shortage, even if it's for a day, I think we are obliged to inform Ghanaians, and we didn't do that at this time. So really, I think efforts are being made to purchase more fuel oils so that the plants that can't operate because there's no gas with the...
All right, so that was Jifap Bampo speaking to us earlier. Let's come to the line and speak to the ECD MD, Samodubik Mahama. What do they know about this situation? So Jifa is explaining that it's a gas problem. Mr. Mahama, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Bernard. How are you doing?
I'm very well. So a few of our listeners have complained about intermittent power outage. And the reason we're asking you to comment on this is you just finished a big revenue collection exercise, held a triumphant press conference last week. So for people to now be suffering power outage after paying the money that they owed you, it's a bit of leaves a sore taste in the mouth. So what is going on from the perspective of ECG? What's your understanding of the current situation?
So with ECG, we only sell what we get. If what we are looking for in terms of gigawatt hours doesn't get to our doorstep, we cannot give to our customers. And what we get is what we pay for. So, for instance, what has just transpired from what the Gridco has just put out is there was a low pressure gas issue that led to we having to dump some power, over 230 megawatts of power 2 days ago. Steps have been taken. Some alternative fuels have been bought. But let's say in the terms of using light crude oil, their plants will have to recalibrate before, so it takes some time. One of the plants that really helps in this situation is SenPower, because they can just switch from gas to diesel easily. AXA can also switch from heavy fuel oil to gas easily. So those two ambidextrous plants are the ones that normally come to our aid. But at this point in time, we didn't have enough, there was no HFO. The DFO, which is the diesel that was available, also kicked in, but it didn't allow for as much power as the grid needed within that period. So that's why we had to do that during the peak hour. But that being said, this morning, ECG has also done its best to close the gap as quickly as possible by helping get some heavy fuel, the HFO, and some diesel is also going the way of Sen Power and Co. So we just want to make sure that we have some good amount of stock for alternative fuels to the gas. Everybody uses gas because it's cheaper, but a situation can be likened to having a generator at home that runs on water, but you also have to get something else just in case you run out of.
I get the explanation, but say one of the questions people have is what determines which place goes off. So in the specific case we are discussing, the Power Enclave is where these power plants are that depend on the gas from Nigeria. So in the temporary situation where the gas is not coming and they have to rely on a different oil type and switch, there may be a period where the light has to go off. Who determines whether it's Medina that goes off or airport or Kokomilimle?
I would say it would have to come from the transmitter, because after the power plant has given whatever, he knows what he's bringing in. He knows which box supply points to send them to. So I believe strongly it comes from the. I may be shifting too much burden on the transmitter, but I would say it's a shared responsibility. Actually, it's both Gridco and ECG determine how the flow should be, so that it doesn't affect other northern parts of the country. So through that, you're able to determine which portions can stay alive and which portions can go off. Some people are of the belief that it's done based on business, and it's not done based on business, and so that you can say East Legon are very good customers, so they should stay on because they have. Because as I'm speaking to you, East Legon was off during the Monday incident, so that is not the case at all. When it happens like that, it's about equitable sharing of the power within the country, so that the entire nation or half the nation or something like that doesn't go off. So we try to make it an equal share through the country.
So finally, on this point, what do you know about the solution in terms of an alternative oil? Are you saying that as we speak, we have managed to get heavy fuel oil or another type? So as we speak, the matter has been resolved?
As we speak, the matter has been resolved largely. There's enough heavy fuel oil with AXA, and there's some diesel with Sen Power. So if we are to see this anytime, we would not have any of such problems going down the line. But we are then not going to have to make sure that at every point in time, there's enough standby fuel for this situation.
Good. Somebody from the power sector wants me to ask you that now that you've collected a lot of the money owed you, how much do you now owe the power producers?
The power producers, we are actually in conversation with them about the way forward. Let's not forget one thing. The whole structure in the power industry has to be relooked. There were things that have happened that have put us in a very, very precarious situation. And we just need time to have an entire conversation. We are currently in meetings. We have a meeting with one of them today. When we are done and we are able to have a proper structure, the requisite amount of monies would be paid to everybody. The understanding will work, and then we have a better framework moving forward. But currently, you can equally be saying you are pushing forward right now with the legacy debt and with debt from this year. We should be pushing, with all the power plants together, we should be pushing close to $2 billion.
Because you had said that you were hoping to recover about 5-point-something billion cedis.
Yeah.
And
but all of them cannot go to the power plants, though. You know that.
No, I'm coming. I was going to ask, so of the 5.7 you were owed, how much were you able to recover in the 1 month exercise?
Out of the 5 point, the whole exercise, we recovered about 3.1 billion.
A little over half.
Yeah.
And is the recovery going on, or you do it in phases? So are you resting, or you are continuing?
No, we are not resting. It's going on, and there will be a big one by the end of the month too. As for the month-end big ones, you will definitely see us. But as I'm speaking to you, I know the task force is all around the nation on an exercise right now.
So you collected 3.1 billion. Were you able to pay some of your power producers, using some of this to pay some of them too?
We gave them some money, but not all the money. We gave them some money, and we are actually in talks with them about the way forward to have a proper structure on how to pay them so that we can always be current on our bills. The problem we have now, which is also one of the reasons that even the country's financial situation is being downgraded, is there's lack of certainty. In every business that you do, nobody is saying don't borrow. But how you service your debt and how constant you are at servicing your debt gives you a lot of credibility. That is what we have lost now, and that is what we want to bring back. Because we need to have everybody at the table for them to understand this is how much we can give you every month, so they can also plan with their lenders towards that. If we are able to structure that, we would have a very good framework moving forward, and everything will become within the power sector. So we actually are having meetings, and very soon we should be done, and then we can hit the ground running.
All right, let's move to the next issue. And indeed, before I even ask the question, I just got a text message from a person. It says, "Good morning, Bernard. My name is Godwin Ayikpa. I bought 300 Ghana cedis power with the ECG app in October last year. But up to today, my meter has not yet been credited after several visits to the district office in Afienya. I'm using Godwin's text to ask you about your much talked about app, which still people are complaining about."
My brother, he spoke about last year, October. Which year, which month are we in now?
No, he said as at now, the thing has still not been credited.
So this is what I would advise him to do. He should dial *226#, or he should go onto the app and report this problem. Follow the prompts and the steps, it will be corrected. I admit that before the end of the year last year, the app had a lot of problems and it was being fixed. So I admit to that incident, but what I'll say is that steps have been taken. Other people's purchases that have similar problems have been restored. And so if he wants it to receive the requisite, attention as quickly as possible, he should just go through the app. They would trace that transaction and he'll be restored as quickly as possible. That being said, the app has gone through so many phases, and right now, to be very honest with you, we at ECG, we are proud of the app. It has a 4.5-star rating on the Google Play Store. We believe some more education needs to be done, and we are preparing that education for it to happen. Now, when a transaction doesn't go through, the money is reversed immediately into your wallet on the app. So we are taking certain pragmatic steps to make sure that things that were not happening on the old app are happening in the new app, and the app is working at its optimum. We are doing our best to better our internet service because MTN has upgraded its service to us, where Main One has connected to us. We are just about to go live in the next 2 days with Main One. And let me even take this opportunity to announce that we've actually gone cashless, physically cashless in all our offices. We had gone cashless in the other form where a bank was assuring our revenue. But now we have actually turned off that button. So load up on your mobile money when you come to the ECG office. And
when you say you've got a cashless, is this in the ECG offices or at your vendors? Because I think last 2 weeks I went to buy with cash.
The ECG office.
Okay. So in the ECG offices today, you are going cashless today.
Today.
Is it for all meter types?
So the truth of the matter is, when you come to our office, note that nobody will take physical cash from you. Everybody, you'll be given a prompt to pay by Momo, or you'll be given a pay-in slip to go into the nearest bank and pay, or you can use your bank card to pay, or the transaction will be transferred into the ECG app. So everybody is entreated to download the app so that we do our payments through that.
Did you announce that you were going cashless? How come I didn't hear?
Bernard, you see, when I came to your office and we were even talking the other time, you hadn't even heard about a few things. I had to do it on your phone for you.
Yes, no, I'm not saying that for such a big thing, don't you think we needed more public anticipation? Because, look, you've said it now that I guess you announced it in the past. It probably escaped me. But it's such a major thing that for all ECG offices, you are going cashless. So that if somebody is listening to me from Jerukope today and she's going to the ECG office and she doesn't have a phone, she can't buy a credit?
Bernard, the last time I was even on your shoulder, I announced it. I announced that it was happening and it was going to happen. So we we have actually made it very simple. It's a very simple assimilation thing. Even you can use a Momo agent to complete the process. It's not as complicated as it may sound being said simply, but it is actually a very, very easy process. The education part of it has been prepared and will be, our very good friend, Mr. Boateng, will be sending all of those things out as quickly as possible concerning the whole process. So please bear with us and we will do the necessary education.
So is there a plan to extend this cashless to your vendors eventually? So now that you've started in your office, should we expect that at some point in the future, going to a typical ECG vendor would also be a cashless experience?
It will depend on the vendor. It will depend on the vendor because we have had other companies come to us talking about also setting up their own app to vend for us. So that they become third-party vendors. So they are also speaking to us. So very soon, maybe someone like that will also find a way to integrate these third-party vendors. That's fine. But as I even promised you the other time, very soon, in about a couple of weeks, you will now be able to use the card to buy the power from the back of your phone. The only thing we've realized is that some of the cards do not have the requisite ability. So we've got about 2,000 of those cards now. So the moment we are about to launch that, we would make a very good publicity on that. Those who want to enjoy that service can come to our offices for a card replacement so they can purchase through the app. Those are the non-smart meters that use it. So we are actually going through a phase that we'll just ask our customers to bear with us so that we can provide them a convenient service while we make sure that the upstream is also working well.
So the big announcement is that in all your offices in the country, ECG is going cashless, and if you pay with Momo, it doesn't attract e-levy.
That is it, my brother. Simple as that.
Wonderful. We'll leave it here. Thank you, Samuel Dubik Mahama. He's the MD of ECG, announcing the cashless era of ECG, and the fact that paying with Momo does not attract e-levy. I think that's a significant one. Because we do know that the Momo was affected by e-levy, so a lot of people decided they were not going to do it. So I think it's a good one they struck. So you pay, and I think it will probably reduce the queues in the ECG offices. Yeah. Just that I don't know how well distributed the ECG offices are. A lot of us still depend on the agents, and some of the agents are very moody. So I actually prefer going to ECG office to buy than to go to an agent. But there's something I want to discuss here. So Sky, you read a story this morning that. So Jifat told us, and Dubik has confirmed that we're having problems with gas from Nigeria. So we had to quickly switch to heavy fuel oil. Okay.
And that problem was what? The gas couldn't get to us.
Either Nigeria didn't have gas or the pressure was low. Okay. Good. Now, whilst we are doing that, a total of 25.3 billion cubic feet of natural gas worth about $169 million was lost in the upstream petroleum sector through flaring. Which means you just burn it. Now, the 2022 Public Interest Accountability Committee report on management and use of petroleum resources revealed this. The volume of gas flared in 2022 increased by 19.3% compared to the volume of 20.1 SCAF in 2021. Now, this figure is about 10% of the total of 253.56 BCF of both associated gas and non-associated gas produced from the three main fields. So Jubilee, Sankofa, and 10 give us 253.5 BSC of gas. Now, this doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to call Ben Boache to explain how this is even happening. So in the same week that we are having to have power off because we are not getting gas to power some of our plants, particularly in the Power Enclave, we have triumphantly announcing that we burned almost $170 million worth of gas because we didn't have any use for it. Ben, am I linking these two issues correctly? Am I right in linking this recent power outage over lack of gas from Nigeria to the SPIAC report? Ben Boache, ASEP CEO, thanks for joining us. Am I right in linking the two?
No, I think you're absolutely spot on, Bernard. We cannot actually separate our policy inactions or actions to ensure energy security or gas security for power generation. Because as a country, we decided that the cheapest alternative for power generation is gas. So if that is your cheapest alternative, then your energy security is to diversify the source of of gas that ensure that at all times you have enough gas to be able to generate power, because that's where you get the cheaper fuel to be able to generate cheaper power for your consumers. But usually when you hear policymakers speak, they look at the diversity of the fuel source. So they want a little bit of liquid and then the gas. And then you find out that even when the gas is not available, the liquid is also not available. So it's not even secured in the first place. And that is where we got it all wrong. I mean, the last assessment we did between 2019 and 2021, the flared quantity was about $300 million of gas, which means that this is gas that could have been utilized for power generation or for other industrial applications if we were, getting the policy toolkit right for us to be able to utilize the gas that we actually produced in Ghana. The sad reality also is that we have what we call no flaring policy, which means that the companies are not allowed to flare the gas. But where there is no commercial avenue to use the gas, you cannot compel them not to flare for operational reasons, because you can inject, but only so much of injection can happen at a particular time. So even though we have a no flaring gas, which is supposed to ensure that foreign companies that are producing the oil and gas actually have incentive to sell the gas to the market for us to use for other industrial applications, they have to flare it because they don't have the option to send it to the market.
Why? Okay,
failed over time.
Why is that? Why is that? So you have gas fields in the western part of the country. Your power plants are in the eastern part predominantly of the country. So is it that there is no means of transporting this gas from the western enclave to the eastern enclave, for which reason you still have to depend on Nigeria? Is that why we are flaring this gas?
Okay, good question. So we need investment to unlock the gas. So once you produce the gas, you need to process it. Our gas processing capacity is about 140, but we usually do around 120 max because of the capacity of the plant. So we don't have enough capacity to process. So ordinarily we would have had to construct another processing plant. Or if we had a modular, processing plant, we could then increase its capacity. But because we have a fixed plant, we need to build a new train or a new processing plant to be able to take on the additional gas that is coming from 10 and Jubilee to process them before the power plants can actually use them. But over the years, we've not been able to do the investment. So it was known as, back as 2012, that before 10 will come in, we will need a second train because the first train was going to process Jubilee gas. We need a second train to be able to process the gas. That has been on the drawing board forever. All right. And that's essentially because government policy was for government to do it by itself. And the experience with CDB constructing the Atuabo gas processing plant makes it difficult for us to raise capital on our own from the market to be able to deliver the second train. There has been options of bringing in private capital to be able to deliver it. But again, it's the normal practice where in Ghana we think in years and not in seconds. And so years pass and the project is never delivered. So that is why we are where we are. So we are flaring the gas and we are looking for liquid fuel, import them with hard dollar that we don't even have.
So Ben, just to explain, you are saying that we don't have, Ben, you say we don't have gas processing beyond 120 mm. So if you talk of gas processing, are you saying that the associated gas and then the non-associated gas need to be processed before it can be used in the power plant?
Yes.
And we don't have the capacity to process it.
You need a lean gas, which is essentially methane, to be able to use for the power generation. So when they split them, that's where they get the LPG and other condensates, and then the methane is used for the power generation. So it has to be processed. With Sankofa, for example, which is the ENI gas, they do very minimal processing. So that one is done because it's a non-associated gas. So they produce that and just ship the lean gas to the power plant. But for Jubilee and 10, because it's associated, they have to process it to be able to get the lean gas for power generation. So once you don't have the capacity to process it, then we are faced with the challenge of having to re-inject or flaring.
So in the ENI case,
they transport this gas through. Is there a pipeline from the west to east?
Yes. So that is another conversation. So we have invested money, about $180 million, to build the infrastructure to reverse gas to the east. But if you still don't produce enough, you don't have enough to be able to transport to meet shortfalls if they happen, because you're always going to have these challenges. It's known that intermittency, operationalizing the pipeline, once in a while, you have a compressor failure, you have problems, and you will need to have an alternative. So if we had enough in the western enclave, you could then pump that to the east for the plants in the east to be able to utilize those gas for power generation. But because we don't have enough, we are flaring what we are actually producing, then that means that we still have to wait for Nigeria to kick off before we can have enough gas to generate. So I just always think that we're getting the policy actions wrong, and that is why we are where we are. I mean, for example, if you have ENI that is producing and being the most consistent producer, you could as well tell them to say that let's do the minimal investment we need to do to improve your output, so that even if you are doing 200 SCF a day, you have a throughput capacity of about 400 SCF. That allows you to pump in more gas when we need it. All right. And these are policy conversations that if you have with the owners of capital, those who have invested $7 billion on that field, they'll be, because when we were not able to do the reverse flow, they stepped in to finance the $180 million to do the reverse flow. And if they have done that investment, then we are paying for it. We can't make use of that infrastructure. It doesn't make sense to have put that infrastructure there in the first place, or to have done that investment. So we have to think holistically along the value chain to see what is possible, so that these kinds of explanation, always explaining to the consumer of power how gas is not flowing, how a transmission line is having challenges, is because it's easy to explain and go get a high five and say, oh, I was able to explain to the people and they're okay. But it shouldn't be our business to know how power gas is produced and how power is produced. But that is the environment. We have allowed these kinds of explanations without doing the hard, lifting, heavy lifting of doing the policy right and ensuring that we can actually always have the cheapest source of fuel available for power generation.
This is serious. Now, in terms of private sector interest in gas processing, you've spoken about ENI. Do we know if there's demand and interest in setting up gas processing facilities so that the gas from the 10 and the Sankofa fields will be useful in a lean form? Do we know if there's any demand for, or there's any interest from any investor in doing this?
No, I mean, last year, I think Ghana Gas signed an agreement with a company to set up a new processing plant. We don't know where that is going with that. We also know of the GENSA, arrangement that was supposed to also set up another processing plant, which we had problems with because of the commercial arrangements, which really undermine the interest of the state. Because you are discussing with the producers of the gas at a price of around $3 per MMBTU, and then GNPC was signing an agreement to sell the gas at 2.79. So the question we asked is, who was going to offset the difference? If you are not even selling to make a margin and you are selling at a discount, how are you going to recover, the price that the producers are selling the raw commodity to you? So the commercial terms for that arrangement really skewed in favor of the investor, and the state was still going to lose money by putting that system in place. So I think that also stalled the investment a bit, and then we don't know where that also is, because Parliament was supposed to have investigated, issued a report based on the concerns we raised. Since last year, the report is still not out. There's no conversation about the alternative, because once you are flaring, by the time the investment comes, you also find that the gas may have either so significantly depleted that you can't get the throughput, and then you still have to pay the investment that you would have signed on take or pay. All right, once you are finished flaring the gas. So there is huge economic loss. We're just talking about PIAC reporting of the 2022 of over 160 million, with the 3 years of about 300 million. So in total, we've done close to 500 million of flaring in the past 4 years alone. You're not even talking about other economic loss. You know, if you injected that gas into the economy, the jobs that it would have created, the businesses that would have benefited, the tax revenue that would have resulted from either payee and the other, that hasn't even been analyzed. So you're running into several billions for the loss of not planning and activating the gas potential of our resources. And
sorry, did you say we had flared $500 million worth of gas in the past 4 years?
So what I said is that we did an assessment between 2019 to 2021. And at the time, we have flared a little in excess of $300 million. So PIAC is also reporting of 2022, which is 169, right? 169 million. And so it's close to $500 million of gas has been flared. Right? And so in the energy sector alone, if you pick about 3-4 tickets of inefficiencies and poor decisions, you are running into several billions of dollars, all right, which could save this economy in this critical time. But we are still wasting resources propping up those inefficiencies because of policy inaction.
It must be frustrating doing analysis in the sector, but persist at it. Thank you very much for your work. That's Bembuachi of ASEP. Fascinating. So probably $470 million of gas flared in the past 3.5 years because of lack of investment into gas processing. Meanwhile, we're having lights out because the Nigerian gas is the volume is too low and the amount is inconsistent, because I don't even think there's a proper arrangement in NGAS. So they send you 30 today, 90 tomorrow. So you're not really sure.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't have a lot of time to delve into the energy issues, but I feel your anger was justified this morning when you read the PIAC report and you were flaring. Again, choice of words. You flared up because of the flaring. Yeah. So we'll be back. I will come back to the energy sector later, but I have a couple of quick interviews to do. Citi Breakfast Show. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Anytime is a good time to have a break. Introducing Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's perfect for break times, party times, movie times, and snack times. Savor the moment. Enjoy Munchie Anytime Crackers anytime. Munchie Anytime Crackers. It's light and tasty.
This outfit is FDA approved.
In a world that's always moving, it's important to have a bank that shares your values and your spirit of perseverance. A bank that understands what it takes to succeed and is there to help you every step of the way. Whether starting a business, building a home, or planning for retirement, we're committed to providing you with the highest level of service and support. We understand the changing times and are ever ready to partner you. We accept your challenge and are ready to build tomorrow with you, because our values of responsible, effective, and decisive, just like yours, have brought us success over the years. And we are committed to helping you achieve your goals today and tomorrow.
Forward together.
Melcom Mother's Day promo. Make this Mother's Day a memorable one for mom. Shop at Melcom and enjoy 20% off this weekend in this Mother's Day celebration from Friday 12th to Sunday 14th of May 2023. Get more this Mother's Day. Thanks, Mom, for choosing Melcom. Dad, you are invited too. Terms and conditions apply. Melcom, where Ghana shops.
Quack! Bet365 is now officially available in Ghana. When you place a pre-match multi-bet on football, you go get bonus up to 70% to your winnings if your bet is successful. You can choose from markets like full-time results and both teams to score, from selected competitions including the Premier League, Champions League, and much more. Get this great offer when you visit the official site at bet365.com.gh. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
It's 30 minutes past 9. We have a couple of quick announcements to make.
Yes, Airtel Tigo is announcing to its cherished customers that all unregistered SIMs will be permanently disconnected from May 31 in line with the NCA's directive. Customers who are yet to complete their SIM registration are entreated to visit any Airtel Tigo shop immediately with their Ghana card to avoid losing their numbers permanently. What's more, you get up to 5 GB free data instantly after your registration is completed. So get registered now. Airtel Tigo, life is simple.
Yes, please.
On the 14th of May, we are celebrating our mothers and mother figures at the City Gardens at Owula Hansen Lane in Tesano. From 4 p.m., it will cost you 350 cedis, and it will be an evening of great Ghanaian food, dance, and the celebration of motherhood. It's a portrait of Mama, which is our Mother's Day dinner. Call 0205-973-973 for inquiries. And a portrait of Mama inspired by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and sponsored by Dano Milk and Tasty Tom and supported by The Juice Guy and Veuve Duvernay.
Hey, Nathan, that. All right, we have in the studio the head of SME banking at ABSA, Audrey Abaka. She's here to talk about a new, very interesting thing they're doing, a very low rate they are offering, I must admit, for special categories of SMEs, right? So ABSA Bank and MasterCard Foundation have teamed up to offer a groundbreaking support program to elevate SMEs and propel their growth with a 10% interest rate without collateral on loans. So what we'll do this morning is to find out what categories of businesses and people can benefit from this particular arrangement. Because obviously that's much, much lower than what the bank itself and other banks are offering for other competitive services. So Audrey, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Bernard, for having me.
It is good to have you back after a year. I think you were here last year on the business festival.
Yes, I was.
It's good to have you back. How are you doing?
Very well, very excited.
You sure?
I am.
Okay.
Because I'm a bearer of good news.
I hear you. All right. So you say you're offering 10% loan for SME without collateral?
Yes, we are.
I see. Why are you doing this? What are the details?
Okay, so we are a forward-looking bank, and consistently, Bernard, we proactively look at how we can better solution our client. And if you look at the SME sector, one of their major need is access to affordable finance. And in recent time, looking at the climate, the economic climate that we find ourselves in, so much has happened within a short period of time, and businesses are singing same song. I have been on the ground. I have visited many SMEs. I have interacted with them, and I get to hear their real challenges. They keep telling you how they're struggling to keep afloat, how they're struggling to manage their businesses, because today, the capital they had 2 years ago, that capital has significantly declined because of the high inflation.
Yes, madam.
And these businesses are doing everything possible to survive. But how do they do that if they don't have the capital to inject into their business? So as a business, you know, we continue to think about how innovatively we can come out with these solutions, and noting how our customers are struggling in times like this, we worked with our dependable partner, MasterCard Foundation, to design this special lending offering to the SMEs. And we are able to lend to them up to 1 million Ghana cedis without collateral at 10%. So it is a news that any ear that hears tingles. And I keep being quizzed on this yesterday when we went out to the market, whether it is real. So this is real?
It's real?
It is a real good news to the Ghanaian market.
So you are partnering with MasterCard Foundation. So talk a bit about that partnership and how this initiative is different from other loan offerings in the country.
Okay, last 2 years in 2020, at the peak of the COVID pandemic, we collaborated with MasterCard Foundation to support 5,000 SMEs financially and also technically. So within that partnership, ABSA committed to lend up to $100 million within 5 years to these number of SMEs. And then MasterCard Foundation committed to supporting us to build their capacity, to strengthen their business operations so that they can grow.
And use the money and not waste it.
they can grow their businesses, scale, and eventually create jobs for the Ghanaian market. So the overarching objective of this whole partnership is to create 50,000 jobs for young Ghanaians, especially women.
Wow.
Now, over the past 2 to 3 years, we have been, efficient with managing the objectives of this partnership. And as I speak, we have supported over 2,000 SMEs, including smallholder farmers, up to over 200 million Ghana cedis. In the process, we have created over 10,000 jobs for young Ghanaians.
Already?
Yes. And then we have trained over 6,000 SMEs, including smallholder farmers. Now, regarding this particular initiative, we have, designed the solution in such a way that businesses that qualify under this initiative would be able to access up to 11 million Ghana cedis.
Wow.
At 10%.
Wow.
They can also qualify up to 1 million Ghana cedis without collateral.
Up to 1 million.
Up to 1 million Ghana cedis. And, it's important that I mention the category of SMEs that fall within this whole initiative. Number one is women SMEs.
Women-owned.
Women-owned SMEs.
All right.
And then young entrepreneurs who are up to 35 years.
Oh, so I'm not young.
And own businesses that are above 3 years.
Okay.
We also support fintechs under this initiative, and most especially agribusinesses. And for agribusinesses, we are looking at the entire value chain. So you can see, the agribusiness has a wide value chain, and you can imagine the kind of impact this whole initiative is going to have on that particular sector. Now, these loans, have a tenor of up to 24 months.
Okay.
Now, we don't want to leave our SMEs out. So beyond this category of SMEs that I have mentioned, any SME can also access up to 500,000 Ghana cedis within 48 hours, but at the going rate.
This is 10% per annum.
So the 10% per annum is for the category of SMEs that I have mentioned to you.
Yes. I just want to know it per annum.
It is per annum. It is not per month.
Because some people give 10% per month.
I know.
That's why I'm asking for clarification.
It is per annum.
I see. Now, the lack of collateral is for up to 1 million.
Yes.
It's for up to 1 million cedis.
Yes.
And the business must be in 4 categories: women-owned, young entrepreneurs. That means you must be below 35 or below.
Up to 35.
Up to 35. So you can be 35.
Yes.
But your business should have been in existence for at least 3 years.
3 years, yes.
And then agribusiness, and then fintech,
Yes.
and agri-tech.
Yes.
So within the same space. So these are the 4 qualifications.
And mentioning fintech and agri-tech, yesterday we gave 2 million Ghana cedis to 10 fintech and agri-tech companies. There were some of them who won a cash award of 250,000. Others won cash award of 200,000, and others also won 100,000.
When you say cash award, what do you
Grant.
mean? Oh, grant, not even loan, grant.
No, grant to support their businesses.
So how did they qualify for that money?
So earlier this year, we went to market to search for the agri-tech and fintech that have potential to grow. And over 99 of such businesses applied for that grant. So they went through a thorough screening. And then we selected 20. So the 20 came and pitched their ideas to, a highly qualified panel of judges. And then out of that, we chose the 10. So it has been a whole process.
Right. Let's talk about how this initiative fits into your broader strategy for Ghana. Because these are difficult times for all of us. So this initiative that you are partnering MasterCard to do, how does it fit into your overall strategy?
It fits in perfectly. Because as a business, we believe that we have a key role to play in driving economic growth and supporting our customers' success. Okay. So this initiative is an important part of the broader strategy of ABSA, and especially for our purpose of empowering Africa's tomorrow together, telling one story at a time. And we also believe that by offering this loan at this considerable, lower rate, we are coming to market to enable these SMEs to grow. And when businesses grow, what happens? The economy grows. Jobs are created. Lives are improved. and things get better.
All right. How will you ensure that the loans are used effectively by the borrowers? I think you hinted that, but I want you to elaborate a bit on it.
So for effectiveness purposes, we have a structured approach in ensuring that, we give the loans to the right people. And one of the strategy is for us to at least know where you are and then assess your business. And then also to be certain that you are, you have a real purpose for that facility. When we give the loan to you, we don't end there. We continue to, engage you and ensure that you use the loan for the right purpose. We have a solid recovery department in place. Okay, so in the event of anything, that department is the one that comes after you. But let me use this, opportunity to engage these SMEs that when you borrow from a bank, please make it your aim to pay. Because
make it your aim to pay.
Yes, make it your aim to pay because every business needs funding to grow. Now, when you default in one bank, the entire banking system gets to know.
Yeah.
So there's a system that we are able to determine whether you are indebted to a bank or not. And once your name gets onto that system, it will be very, very tough, if not impossible, to be supported by a bank. So for the customers that are interested and they want to come and enjoy this unbeatable package, please come take the money and use it for the right purpose. Don't divert it and make it your aim to settle it in time.
Does a person need to be an ABSA customer to access this this very favorable 10% in the context of the market rate?
I'm laughing because, Bernard, which bank will get up and say that you don't have a relationship with me, so come for 100,000, come for 1 million? Obviously, you must have an account with ABSA. Okay. The good thing is that for our existing customers, we already know them, we have relationship with them. So we've already started supporting them under this special initiative. But if you are a new client, if you want a non-collateralized loan, you would have to open an account, but you have to operate your account for a minimum of 3 months and then support that with a 1-year bank statement from your previous bankers. If you're able to do that, we would be able to support you when you have managed your account well. And this is also where I have a problem with some of the businesses. They would come and open an account, they want support, but they do cash transactions. They do not send their daily sales into the bank or into their bank account. They trade on their Momo platforms, and then they also trade directly with cash. If you do that, you are not helping yourself. Because the bank must have comfort that the funds that you are coming to take, you have a good account performance to be able to return the money back to us.
Yeah, it's only reasonable that you do that. We are still talking to Odi Abakash, is the head of SME at ABSA, and they are partnering with MasterCard on an interesting project where you can borrow at 10% interest rate without collateral up to $1 million. More than $1 million, there will be collateral. But this is for specific categories of SMEs. So women-owned is an advantage. Being 35 or below is an advantage. Being an agribusiness is an advantage. Being a fintech is an advantage. Being an agribusiness, agri-tech is even a bigger advantage. They also give about 10 agribusinesses or agri-tech businesses some grants in the past few days, and they have launching this as part of their determination to make more impact in society. I have final questions for you. What sort of impact do you want to make with this? But before that, I think we already answered this question. I don't think I need to go to this question again. You are saying that the 1 million is no collateral, but after 1 million is collateral.
Yes.
Okay, so you need to make that point really clear. And then what sort of impact do you suppose this will make? What time are you giving yourself to measure this, right? So how many people are you hoping will benefit from this in which period?
Yeah, so let me answer the impact question. Already I've given you some numbers of what we have been able to do. This whole project started, 2 to 3 years back, and we have an impact team, a monitoring and evaluation team that assesses, the facilities that we have given out. They go to the field and they interview these clients on how the loans are actually impacting their businesses positively. So in terms of impact, we have a clear direction on how we want this to impact society. And it's all about job creation. Yeah. So the 5,000 SMEs that we are seeking to support, the overarching objective is that they grow their businesses through this funding and then create jobs to young entrepreneurs, especially women.
Okay.
So we have a team that assesses that for us. And in terms of how long, usually we give them a year to access that level of impact. Because when you take a loan today, obviously I do not expect that the following month you are creating jobs.
Okay.
We have to give you time to utilize the funds, to grow, and then in the process, or to structure. I remember there was a client that, through this funding, she was able to bring in an HR expert to help her structure her business. In the process, she created about 5 to 6 jobs, because now she will need an admin person, she will need an HR person, she will need an accountant. And once you do that, remember you are improving somebody's livelihood as a result of creating that job. And it is not just job creation we measure. We also look at how, through the support, somebody's salary gets increased.
Okay.
And once that happened, the livelihood of that person is improved. And then if I can clarify the non-collateralized, let me just repeat it. So we are saying that you can access up to 1 million without collateral. But anything beyond 1 million, up to 11 million, at 10%, then you would be required to provide collateral.
But it's still 10%.
It is still 10%.
What are your final words?
My final words is that this is an opportunity that has been created for the business sectors. And for the customers that benefit or within the category of SMEs that are expected to utilize this, I'm encouraging them to, go to any of our ABSA branches and make inquiries. And then also we have an SME Center of Excellence at Ring Road. Okay. They can also go there to, make inquiries. We are happy to support them. We are happy to respond to all their inquiries. And the good news is that ABSA is committed to financially support these SMEs.
Audrey Abaka is the head of SME at ABSA. She's too much. You hear her more very soon on Citi again, I know. So this one is just comedy. She's just doing initial. But the key point, if you are an SME, women-owned, young, 35 and below, agribusiness, agri-tech, fintech, this is the time to get in touch with ABSA because they are partnering MasterCard to give loans with 10% interest rate. Now, if you look at the prevailing interest rates, 10% is really, really low. And the fact that you can get it without collateral for up to 1 million cedis is also very important. All right, now we are going straight into another conversation. Before that, Standard Water has about 25 years of experience in quality water provision. Quench your thirst with Standard Water in a number of ways. We have sachet, we have bottle, we have dispenser mounted jar, customized water for your parties and special occasions. Standard Water is available for purchase from supermarkets, retail shops, and other delivery trucks. Call Standard Water on 0202 055 703. Standard Water is FDA approved.
Now, Old Mutual is 10 years. Join us in celebrating a decade of greatness. Now, there are here are some facts you need to know about Old Mutual. Now, did you know that Old Mutual was a leading financial service provider that offered innovative customer solutions across Ghana? Well, if you didn't know, now you know. Old Mutual is the first insurance brand to introduce WhatsApp insurance and an annuity package. So you can call Old Mutual on 0501 579 204 or visit oldmutual.com.gh for more info. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
All right, now Nathan, I want you to go through this announcement for me because I'll be talking to Priscilla Asiedu. She's the head of operations at Copam Hospitality, doing some interesting things in the hospitality space with some freebies. Indeed, the interview you're about to have, if you can listen to it closely and answer a few questions, you could win some free slots.
Yep.
Yeah, if you can elaborate on that, Nathan.
Well, yes. So on the 20th of May, Copan is taking people who want to go to the beautiful waterfalls of Adom, Asinima, and Bouti, and it's costing 600 cedis, and there's a 100 cedi discount for all old clients and the first 20 people to register. Now, apart from that, they also have a great package which is in June. They are taking you to Dubai and Kenya from June 23 to 29 for 1,400 USD double sharing and 1,600 single occupancy respectively. Now the package will cover visa assistance, hotel accommodation, tours, ticket, airport transfers, the whole shebang. You also get a free Copan travel card, which is the first loyalty card in Ghana. You can call Copan Hospitality on 0556 965 924 or 0202 349 886 for more details. Copan Hospitality, tourism at its best.
So the head of operations of Copan is in the studio bearing gifts, and she says if you can listen to the interview very carefully and answer a few questions. Now, this is not really phoning. We're going to do it by WhatsApp, so you can just send your answer by WhatsApp and we'll choose the right answers. So, please, Lassie, welcome.
Excluded.
Yeah, welcome. So talk to us more about Copan Hospitality and what you do.
Okay, so Copan Hospitality is a subsidiary of the Copan Group. So
Okay.
Copan Group, we have Copan Logistics, Copan Properties, Copan Sports, and the hospitality is the travel side. So basically, the hospitality part is the travel part of the Copan Group.
I see. So it's a group,
Yes,
and you have
it's
the
a
hospitality part. So today we are talking hospitality.
Yes,
Even though the group does other things. All right.
Yes.
So just talk a bit about what other services you render.
So with the hospitality, our
Yeah.
services are mainly all-inclusive packages.
Okay.
We do visa assistance,
Mhm.
we do hotel reservation, we do airline tickets, and then we do support for conferences and events, both domestic and then international.
When you say all inclusive, what do you mean?
So all-inclusive, we have two parts. We have the domestic and the international. So when we talk about domestic, all-inclusive means it includes the transportation to the tour sites, the entries to the tour sites,
Okay.
the meals and everything. So basically, when you buy an all-inclusive domestic package, you don't need to pay for any other thing. Just come and then we go. And then when we talk about the international one too, that one is visa assistance, your airline tickets, tour activities, hotel accommodation,
Wow.
and everything. So for the international one too, once you buy the package, you don't need to add anything. Probably just money for your shopping. That's
see.
all.
Interesting stuff. So the Copan services are all range. Now travel starts with the passport, right? So, or in fact, indeed, travel starts with birth certificate.
Yes, actually.
Right? Are you able to help people in that process as well?
Yes, we assist with that and then the passport as well.
And then the visa. I'm sure you know there's a lot of visa backlog in many countries.
There is.
I see. And you're able to help us.
Yes.
I hear you. So you emphasize the local and international tours and all-inclusive package. Let's talk about your existing and upcoming packages.
Okay, so now for the year, we are already in May. So
Yeah.
in May, the first one we have is on May 20th, the Chasing the Waterfalls.
Chasing waterfalls.
Yes, we are chasing the waterfalls. So that is when we are
Don't
giving
go
this.
chasing waterfalls.
TLC.
Just stick to the rivers.
So the
and
free, the free
lakes that
slots
you're
are actually for
used
the
to.
waterfalls.
All right.
Yeah, so we are doing that on 20th of May.
All right.
And in June, we have a Dubai and Nairobi package together. You're
Okay.
visiting those two places together.
I see.
And then same June, we have Johannesburg in South Africa as well.
Just a mood you're chilling.
Chilling in Kwana.
Charlie.
Hey.
Charlie.
And all these are all-inclusive packages. So you don't need to pay for any other thing. We are doing everything for you. Just bring the money, just relax, and then the date is up and you carry your bags and we go. So in August, we have the summer one that is to Europe, and then we have one to Dubai.
Wow.
The summer package is targeted to families. You know, the children are on vacation, and this is the long vacation. So you need to let the children relax.
I
So
see.
basically for the Dubai in August and then the Europe in August is targeted for families and kids, those who have kids and all that. And then in September, as I rightly said initially, we give support for events and conferences, international and then domestic. So for September, we have a conference, it's FIP conference. It's happening in Australia for pharmacists. So we have that as well. And there is one too in Germany, Expo Farm for pharmacists. That is also there.
So Waterfalls in May is a Ghanaian one.
Yes, domestic one.
That's May. Then you have Nairobi, Dubai in June. You have Johannesburg in June.
Yes.
You have Dubai summer vacation in August.
Yes.
Summer in August, that's funny, but anyway. Then you have an Europe tour in August.
Yes.
And then you have the pharmacy thing in September.
Yeah.
One is in Australia, one is in Germany.
Yes.
Amazing. You launched the travel card, I think, part of your 10th anniversary. If you can talk a bit about that.
Yes.
Okay, so we launched the Copan travel card. That's the first travel loyalty card. We don't have some in Ghana yet.
Is it?
So yeah. So the travel card, the benefits of the travel card is such that when you have the travel card, you get discounts with our partners. So with our partners, we have hotels. Hotels, we have Labadi Beach Hotel. I'm just mentioning a few. I mean, there are a lot. So we have Labadi Beach Hotel. We have Best Western. We have Lancaster, Accra, Kumasi. In Cape Coast, we have Royal Ridge. And then we have eateries. So we have Cosmopolitan, Cafe Banois, Haba Cafe, and then we have insurance. We have Equity Health Insurance. We have Unique Insurance. So when you have the card, you get discounts from 5 to 15%.
Is it?
Yes, on these services that our partners offer. So, for example, let's say Equity Health Insurance. For your premium, you get 15% discount if you have the Copan Travel Card. And it's not just about the discounts with our partners. Anytime you travel with us, you accumulate points. And these points are converted to cash. So you travel with us maybe in June to Dubai, you accumulate points. And maybe in August, you want to go again. The points that you accumulated in June is going to give you a discount, cash discount on the August package.
Okay. Just staying with that, I'm sure your partner hotels go outside Ghana internationally. So how does one identify a partner hotel?
Okay, so for now, we are doing only Ghana.
I see.
The travel card is valid for only Ghana.
Okay.
And we have table talkers with all our partners. So when you go there, you see the table talker. And then when you're coming for the card too, it comes with a letter which has all the information. So you know all the places that the card is valid for.
Okay, all right. So how do I get one? How do I get a Copan travel card?
Very, very simple. You see the packages I mentioned. We are not even in December. We didn't even get to December. Just one. Choose one and travel with us. That's all. Automatically, you get the Copan travel card.
I see.
Wonderful. All right, now you can get in touch on WhatsApp 054-998-6996. Now, how many slots are you giving out?
3.
All right, so I'm just going to... Nathan, you read the question, and then Godfrey, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the WhatsApp platform. The first person to send the right answer to the question wins.
Okay.
For that question. So when we ask question 1, what is my name? Your name is Bernard Avle. If they answer Bernard Avle, the first person has won. You get his number, you call them. Second question, what is Nathan's age? You get an age right. Do you understand me? So there are 3 questions we're going to ask. So you're going to look for 3 sets of answers. So for each question, you need to send in 1 entry. Right. So don't send 1 entry and answer all the 3 questions. No. So Nathan, Question 1.
Name 3 partners on the Copan travel card. Name 3 partners on the Copan travel card. So that's question 1.
Name 3 partners on the Copan travel card.
Yes.
So that's question 1.
Yes. So whoever, please, when you are sending your answers, tag them well.
Like, how do they tag them?
I'm just saying, so we know it's question 1. Yeah, it's better.
Name 3 partners on the Copan travel card.
Oh, very good. Question 2.
So this one, hold on. This question 1, you send your answer, the first person wins. Then question 2, you send answer again. Yes. Don't add question 2 to your question 1.
No.
Question 2.
State that you are answering question 2.
So question 2.
Mention 4 all-inclusive packages of Copan hospitality for this year. Mention 4. All-inclusive packages of Copan hospitality for
me, the
this
interviewer herself, I know the guy.
So that's
4 all-inclusive packages of Copan hospitality for the year.
Yes.
All right. We'll announce the answers before we go to who won. So question 2 is mention 4 all-inclusive packages of Copan hospitality for this year.
And then question 3, mention 3 waterfalls under the Chasing the Waterfall package.
Did you say that here?
Yes.
So what was I thinking about? I didn't.
Me, I said it.
You said it?
Yes.
Mention what?
3 what more? Mention the 3 waterfalls under the Chasing the Waterfall package.
Please stop sending answers to me.
We will not read answers that have been sent.
Listeners who are my friends. I mean, I can't do family and friends package. People are sending answers. Send the answer to the 054. Don't send it to me. All right, Nathan, what was question 1 again?
Question 1. Name 3 partners on the Copan travel card.
Good. And question 2 was?
Mention 4 all-inclusive packages of Copan hospitality for this year.
Question 3.
Mention the 3 waterfalls under the Chasing the Waterfall.
Before we get the answer, what are they winning?
They are winning slots on the Chasing the Waterfall.
Hey, a free slot?
Free slots. Everything inclusive.
And it's on what
Food
day?
and everything. 20th May.
Hey, this one. Okay, Nathan. Okay, so you choose the winner. Go for it. Open the WhatsApp. Question 1 was the 3. I forget the question 7. Question 1 was what?
The partners.
Partners. So who are the partners?
So for hotel, we have Lancaster. I think I saw one mention Lancaster, Labadi Beach. And then what did the first person you showed me, I think, yes, and then Equity Health Insurance. Yeah, that person had it.
Okay. So
Ezekiel.
Labadi Beach.
Ezekiel, your number ends with what? And Ezekiel, your number is 503. You've won for question 1. What was question 2's answer? 4 all-inclusive packages.
Yes.
What are the all-inclusive packages?
So we have the Chasing the Waterfalls. We have Dubai and then Nairobi in June. We have Dubai in August. We have the FIP conference in September. We have Expo Farm in September. We have Dubai. South. Yes. Okay.
So who's this person?
Dubai. The person wasn't specific.
So keep rolling. Keep rolling. So the 4 all-inclusive packages for 20th May. 4 all-inclusive packages. You mention the packages again.
So the packages, we have the Chasing the Waterfalls. We have Dubai, Nairobi.
Question 1. Yeah. So look for question 2. Yeah, Dubai,
so Chasing
Nairobi.
the Waterfalls, Dubai, Nairobi, South Africa. We have Dubai in August. We have the FIP conference.
Okay. So there was one I saw. Go back. There was this one. Yes, question 2. This one. So
this person says,
summer in Dubai, summer Europe tour, Johannesburg in June, Chasing Waterfall.
That's right.
This person's name is not there, but what's their number? It ends with 0011.
Okay.
So your number ends with 0011. You've also you sent in the right entry from the bottom, because we are going from bottom up. So you send the entry first. I didn't get your name, but yeah. Now the third question was what?
Mention the 3 waterfalls under the Chasing the Waterfall package.
Mention the 3 waterfalls. So this person is not answering this question. This is question 3. We are looking for question 3 now. Question 3. No, this is still question 2. Go to question 3.
I think I saw somebody with the answer to question 3. Question 3.
So the person mentioned Adom Waterfall. Yeah. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Asenema.
Yeah.
And Boti.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is Koleki.
From Spintex.
Koleki from Spintex.
Your number
but are they going alone? They are going with somebody.
They are going alone.
Oh, but what kind of
you pay for your partner. Come along.
What is this? How can you send somebody to Boti for alone?
So it's very simple. So instead of paying for 1,200, just pay for 600, and you are double. You just come along with.
Priscilla, it's okay. Go away. Bye. Thank you. So how can people reach you? Give me your phone number before you go.
Okay, so our office location is at East Legon, Special Plaza 1 on the Lagos Avenue.
Okay. And
our contact numbers, the mobile is 055 696 5924.
Repeat it.
055 696 5924. Yeah. And the landline is 0302 975 600. 0302 975 600.
Thank you, Priscilla. Siedu. She's the big woman at Copam. And these are the winners. We'll be back with more. Right. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
The news cycle can sometimes be rather daunting. With an abundance of media houses publishing daily, where does one even begin? What the papers are saying is a one-stop shopping experience to knowing and understanding the most important news items that made the headlines. Catch the next episode of What the Papers Are Saying at 9 p.m. each Thursday, only on Citi TV.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winning. 1xBet. Relax.
reliable bookmaker that offers you a huge range of bonuses, great odds, and many chances to win. Register now on onexbet.com.gh and use promo code PLAY1 to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. OneXBet gives you more. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Sweet, sweet mothers, how could we ever forget you? This year, on Mother's Day, we plan to do quite the festive opposite. What better way to show out for our beloved matriarchs than an entire evening dedicated to celebrating the phenomenon that is motherhood. Mama's boys and mama's girls, for all their love and sacrifices, here comes the ultimate Mother's Day gift. Picture this, a flavorous Ghanaian spread with countless mouth-watering treats, just like Mama's cooking. A glitzy dance floor serenaded by Mama's favorite tunes just for Mama to boogie. And a stunningly intricate portrait of Mama just to remind Mama how truly beautiful she is. Join us on Sunday, the 14th of May, 2023 at 4 p.m. for an enchanting evening of appreciation and enjoyment for our feminine support systems. The venue is at the City Gardens, number 5, Ola Hansen Lane, Tesano, and the rate is a cool 350 Ghana cedis. It's going to be an evening of Ghanaian food, dance, and the celebration of motherhood. So book now and secure a seat for Mama at the A Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner now. For more enquiries, call 020-5973-973. The Portrait of Mama Mother's Day dinner is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is sponsored by Dano Milk and Tasty Tom and supported by the Juice Guy and Verve du Vernet.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
All right, I want to end the show with a snippet of an interview I had with the Chargé d'Affaires of the Sudanese embassy. So, Sudan is in trouble. From the 16th of April, they've been bombing and all kinds of things. So, Adil Wahid joined me for a TV interview. I'm just going to play a short excerpt of that interview to try and explain what's happening in the Sudan from the perspective of the man representing the ambassador.
It's unfortunate what's happening there.
Obviously, he's on the side of the government, so he was explaining this from the perspective of the official position.
The state.
But it's still important to listen to what is happening. A very disturbing conflict erupted on the 15th of April, 2023. And tonight, we're very privileged to have the Chargé d'Affaires for the Sudan here in Accra to give us insights into the situation in the country. What is the humanitarian challenge? What are the issues around the conflict? And what has the African Union done to try to solve this very disturbing conflict in the Sudan? My guest in studio is Adil Awadel Said. Is that the pronunciation?
Yes, right.
Adil Awadel Said. You are the Chargé d'Affaires for the Sudan in Ghana. How long have you been in Ghana?
Yeah, almost 1.5 years.
1.5 years. What's the state of relationship between Ghana and Sudan? Because I don't know if Ghana doesn't have an embassy in Sudan, do we?
Yeah, the relation between Ghana and Sudan is very rooted and very historical. And Ghana has, there is an embassy in Sudan, but it's closed last 80s. Even Sudan also closed its embassy in Ghana 80s, but they reopened it on 2010. But we need our Ghana embassy, inshallah, to reopen in Sudan soon.
So the Chargé d'Affaires is in charge, is not a full ambassador yet?
Yeah, the ambassador has just left last month.
Okay.
Yeah, we're expecting the new ambassador will come soon after this crisis.
A few days ago, Ghanaians were evacuated from the Sudan. They were almost 70-something.
Do you know what type of things the Ghanaians were doing? I'm told a lot of them were students.
Yeah, actually there is Sudan has hosting the International African University. The government of Sudan used to provide scholarship for all Africans, not only Ghanaians. So the Ghanaians in Sudan is more than that numbers. They're still there. We have numbers in that. But they used to get this scholarship through the private ways, and they do the procedures in Cairo and some of their relatives in Sudan. We do have we're sharing some tribes and some ethnic groups here and there. Yeah, so Sudan relation with Ghana is not just new. So the majority of them are students at University of Africa University. Yeah.
I understand. Let's go back to this latest conflict. So this is 15th April.
Yeah.
What actually happened?
Yeah, on the very early of 15th of April, the rebels tried to kill His Excellency President of the Sudan, Fattah Burhan, and they attacked his home and his house. They were neighbors. This guy, the rebel leader, is the vice president of the Transitional Military Council in Sudan. So they decided to take over the power by killing the high rank, the cabinet of the military council, and they did to announce that the new government is in order. But fortunately, His Excellency were able to escape and to defeat himself, and they were able to kill also 35 of his security personnel out of 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it started as an attack on the head of state.
Yes.
By
and his headquarters.
At his office headquarters.
His home.
His home.
In his home.
So,
in the base of the military base, the headquarters, the military headquarters in Khartoum, he living inside.
Wow. Yeah. And this group, the RSF, was led by a man who is supposed to be the vice president?
Yeah, he's a vice president.
How is that possible? So, was it an argument that led to the conflict, or historically,
yes,
they were brought in? Who are the RSF?
Yeah, RSF, the means ready support force.
Okay.
These groups formed by the ex-president Omar al-Bashir. Yes, to help the army to fight against the rebels in Darfur conflict, because this rebel force, they just were the part of the national army. Sudanese army is formed to 100 years back, 1925, one of the oldest and professional army in the area. So this group was a part of the national army, Sudanese army force. And after al-Bashir kicked out, they came to Khartoum with like 18,000 of soldiers. And he became, because of that circumstance, they're trying to make one army, under umbrella of Sudanese army, was a part of that. Then there is many developments in the area of politics and all. He involved somehow in the politics with some political parties, and they decided to take over this power by force in the name of democracy. All this fighting in the name of democracy. He said we have to bring the democracy by force. Yes, that is true.
So these are a paramilitary group created by former President al-Bashir.
Yes,
in the conflict with what is now South Sudan, Darfur.
Darfur is part of Sudan.
Yes. So this was the Darfur conflict.
Yes, Darfur.
Now, there were attempts to integrate these guys into the main army.
Yes, that is the conflict. They came up. Now we have a transitional government in Sudan. After 2019 till now, there has a transitional government. So the complexity is we do have now his army became 100,000 soldiers. This guy. So actually we do have two armies in one country. That is the problems. So the government is trying to make one army. So they came to the aspects of integration. And they came and sat down to agree about the duration of this integration. The army, they said, we need to integrate all these forces within 2 years. 2 years is more than enough to include all these rebels and became former army in Sudan.
Otherwise, are they properly trained soldiers, or they were people recruited to fight the Darfur war. So they're not necessarily gone through the...
No. They don't went through the procedures, the army procedures.
So they are not trained soldiers?
No. There's paramilitary. But
paramilitary people?
Yes, but they're trying to organize these groups as a former army in Sudanese army force. So the problem is that in the period of integration, the army, the government said within 2 years we should include all these groups within the army, and then they will see who's fit and who's not fit. Then this is like procedures, but they should agree about the principles in the beginning. He said no, he need 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
For the integration to take place? For
integration to take place. So that the clash started from that point of view.
Wow. So this group is 100,000, but what is the size of the original Sudanese army?
The Sudanese army like 250,000 in addition to the reserve. Yeah.
So it's 3-1 in terms of numbers?
Yes.
So how come for 3 weeks 250,000 people have not been able to defeat 100,000 people?
No, but the problem that he brought 66,000 of soldiers in Khartoum.
Just in the capital?
Yeah, in the capital. He didn't plan for war. He was planning for coup d'etat. Yes, to take power, and that is to announce that. So he brought all these soldiers in a different type of interpretation. Yes, we need this for training, but he was trying to surrounding. He had 46 camps surround Sudan. Khartoum, as a capital, formed from 3 compulsory cities. The Blue Nile comes from Ethiopia, and White Nile comes from South Sudan and join in Khartoum, and then start River Nile. So Khartoum is 3 cities: Khartoum, Omdurman, and Bahri. It is a huge, all population of Sudan is 40 millions. Khartoum itself is 10 millions out of 18 states.
Wow.
Okay. So he brought all these soldiers, and he's fighting in Khartoum, 66,000 soldiers.
In Khartoum?
In Khartoum itself.
Wow.
Well equipped with 2,500 armored, four-wheel drive armored cars, these pickups.
And this was under pretext that he was doing a military exercise?
Yes.
And then he brought 66,000 people into Khartoum?
2,000.
In the 3 main parts of the city?
With 2,500 four-wheel drive cars, armored cars.
10 on the dot. That was Bernard Avle speaking with Adair Abdelhamid. He's chargé d'affaires at the Sudanese embassy. There's still the Citi Breakfast Show. Now, the full interview will be up on YouTube to give you some great context as to what's happening in Sudan and all of that. But like I said, that was Adair Abdelhamid. He is the chargé d'affaires at the Sudanese embassy. He was speaking with Bernard Avle. That's how we wrap up today's edition of the Citi Breakfast Show. My name is Nathan Kwao. Earlier you heard Bernard, you heard Richard, Godfred. Many thanks for all your messages that came in. Show produced by Caleb Kuda and Fred Jabano, and Godfred Odum supported us on technical. It's time for the news at 10. Caleb Kuda is here.
Hello, good morning and welcome to